Welcome to Verdane TV. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome one more time around to Verdane TV. My name is Wes Rowdy Hogue, and we are here with the Down South Street Stocks, the finale of their season here in the Street Stocks at Martinsville, where Devin McLeod has a 1-point lead over Brian Blum. Again, my name is Wes Rowdy Hogue. Hitting the buttons in the booth is Paul Showtime Strickland. He's bringing you the beautiful action you're going to see on your screens tonight. And, of course, always next to me in the announcing booth is Kyle. I'm just going to send it young, winner of the Tim Terry special event Triple Threat Series from last night. Kyle, how you feeling?
Oh, Wes, I'm feeling great. Had an absolute blast last night in the Tim's Corner Motorsports special, all for charity too, so that even adds on to the specialness. And now I get to go racing June 25th for the All-Star Showcase happening at the end of the month. So it was cool to be a driver on a Verdane TV broadcast. Haven't done that yet. It was great to win it, and now I'm set for another race coming up here in a few weeks. So back in my normal chair. Feels good to be back in the chair. I'm looking forward to this show. A little bit different for what we usually do on Sunday nights. This will be our first of 2 consecutive Sunday nights where we will crown a champion. Our usual Sunday night home, the East Coast Winter Racing League, they will race tonight still. We won't be there with them, but we will be there with them next Sunday night when they crown their championship. So we have a championship to crown tonight. We have a championship to crown next Sunday night. Couple awesome Sundays to start off June.
Sunday's always a good day. You know, you typically got the cup race on during the day. You get to call a little bit of iRacing at night in the evening. Then you get ready for your week on Monday and hope to wake up with a smile on your face. And we try to end off the week correctly for you, and that is with some racing here at Verdane TV, where we do it and we only do it live. So again, this is the Down South Street Stock League hosted by Phil Ellis. This is their last race of the season. Your points leader is Devin McLeod. He has 368 points. Brian Blum is second with 367 points. I think that's who your battle is going to be for the point standings. Third place in points will be Dylan Ritchie, 338, and then Jonathan Thompson, 335. And after that, it's quite a bit further back. So the Down South Street Stocks are here at Martinsville. We're going to have, looks like, some heat races, possibly a consi, a little warm-up after that, then 125 laps where the top 8 of qualifying will be inverted. So also, for those that are viewing on Facebook, we thank you so much for being a part of Verdane TV. If you're new to us, make sure you hit that follow button. If you're on YouTube or you haven't seen our YouTube yet, make sure you hit that button that says subscribe. We're revamping our YouTube. We're revamping as well as our Twitch, where you can find us at Verdane Racing. Make sure you hit the subscribe button there. We are all over all the streaming platforms. Make sure we give you the action anyhow you can. And cool thing is, on YouTube, we're dang near in 4K resolution. Unfortunately, Facebook dumbs down the post or the stream. So if you want the highest quality, over on YouTube is where it's at. And of course, watching the streams, watching the chats, Kyle Young and I, he's watching Facebook, I'm watching YouTube. Chat with us. We'll chat back.
Indeed, we will. We always love the interaction with our viewers. It's awesome to see the numbers on the stream, seeing how many people are watching, but it's even more fun when we get to see what you guys are saying, what kind of things you like, what kind of things you don't like, who you're polling for, all that good stuff. So make sure to send that our way once you jump on in here. Qualifying just about wrapped up here, and no surprises here. Our points leader, Devin McLeod, is at the top of the charts with a 21.436. We take the top 8 drivers in qualifying straight to the feature, and those 8 drivers will be inverted. So the pole sitter will start in position 8, 8th place in qualifying will start first. So it looks like Devin McLeod will be your fast timer. Then we have, it just cut away from me. That's not helpful. We have somebody that will start on the pole. I was going to give you that number until iRacing decided to boot that off of my screen. Now we're going to go heat racing. We will have 2 heat races on the night, 15 laps apiece. We will take 3 drivers from each heat race straight to the feature, and then we will have a 25-lap consolation race before our 125-lap championship feature finale.
All right, and starting pole for this first heat, it looks like it's going to be one of two heats will be Phil Ellis in that 29, and next to him will be Dodge Colbert in the number 11 machine. Anthony Sergi in the number 40. We start in third, and Bart Fahrubel, I'm going to have to work on that one, will be starting fourth in the 14. Starting fifth will be Dave Daniel in that 45, and next to him will be Kyle Case in that number 61 hot rod. Starting seventh is the Heartbreak Kid, Tyler Sontag. Starting eighth will be the 09 of DJ Morning. Starting ninth actually will be Corey Bigley in the 28. Brent Huber in the 64 will be starting 10th. And rounding out your field was supposed to be Donald Clark and Brian Lowhead, but they did not field. They may be missing this one. So we're to get some heat racing in here, Kyle. We're going to have 15 laps.
Indeed, we will. Getting things started off here tonight. Wes, I'm looking forward to this. I love Martinsville Speedway as a driver. It's one of my absolute favorite short tracks to race at. Love watching the real races at Martinsville. These street stocks are probably, in my opinion, the best short track car on the service. You can lean on each other, you can beat and bang, you can really get aggressive without having to worry about dumping a guy. You actually have to work to dump somebody in these things. So this should be a really fun night. I think this will be a great combination for the fans, a great place to host a championship race. Should be a fantastic way to wrap up this down south street stocks season.
A lot of these names are familiar for us here at Vidane TV as we host a couple different leagues for New Smyrna down in Florida. One of them being Anthony Sergi in the 40, who's pulled off the track, and he has actually exited his car. Not exactly sure what's going on with Anthony Sergi there, but Anthony Sergi, possibly he's having some connection issues. Not exactly sure. But no, it looks like he has actually been disqualified. We'll get a story on that. But until then, the green flag is about to fly here at Martinsville Speedway, and we are off.
Green flag flies for the first time tonight. It's Phil Ellis and Dodge Colbert on the front row. Ellis has the advantage going into turn one for the first time. He'll hold it coming off at turn number two, but Colbert stays to the outside, starts to pull even going down the backstretch, and into turn three for the first time. It's a dead even fight for the race lead as we got some sliding going on behind, but everybody still stays.
21 of Corey Bigley goes around on the exit of a corner there. He's trying to get rocking and rolling. Unfortunately, no caution. Looks like these might be admin controlled cautions, or it just wasn't enough. Story on Anthony Sergi is internet, actually. He's having quite a few internet issues, so he pulled off the track. That disqualified him. Unfortunately, internet will be the issue for the 40 here tonight as the field makes its way out of turn four, now down into turn one.
Bummer for Anthony Sergi. He was supposed to start in position number 3 in this heat race and take the top 3, so he was starting in a qualified position. We know how competitive Anthony has been in our New Smyrna Speedway World Series of Esports on Wednesday night. I would have definitely bet on him making it in through this heat race, but unfortunately that will not be the case. Opens things up for the rest of the field here, as now we have Dave Daniel, who started outside of the transfer spot. He is now in it, but the Heartbreak Kid, Tyler Sontag, up to position 4. He started in position 7, so he's had a very nice start, and he is all over the back bumper of that 46, wanting to find a way around him and get into the show.
Kyle, you see these drivers smoking the tires through the corner, through the center of the corner to corner exit, really driving the rubber off of these tires, or even your leader smoking them coming on out.
You can really see how hard these guys are pushing. It is a short little 15-lap heat race, but when you're only qualifying the top 3, you really have to get up on the wheel and drive. There's no time to relax. There's no time to just run some laps and get upfield. You got to be up and driving and ready to go all 15 laps and hope that you can get your way into the show. Over these last few laps, we've seen a gap between the 46 and the 91 separate just a little bit. Now the 91 is Sontag. He's got a mirror full of the 14 machine of Bart Fahrubel. Fahrubel in position number 5. He needs a couple to transfer. The first that he's going to look to get is the 91 of Sontag.
They head down into 1 and 2. That battle is still going on for position 4. Your top 3 still setting the pace here. They know they're moving on, so I can see that just being taken a little bit easier, trying to keep the gap back to this Tyler Sontag number 91.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of separating that space there amongst these top three for the field behind them. Fahrubel hasn't been able to challenge just quite yet, but he does continue to reel in. Doesn't seem that Sontag has been able to close this gap any to the back bumper of Dave Daniel in the 46 car. We'll come around this time to complete lap number 8. We have 7 laps to go, so we're halfway through this first heat race. Now Dave Daniel looks to the inside of Dodge Carlbert. He wants P2 in turn 1.
And that battle is on for P2 as Daniel works the inside, the outside of Carlbert and that number 11 Camaro. They dive it down into 3 and 4, coming around to take a lap 10. This is exactly what your leader wants to see is, oh, Dodge gets really loose coming off of 4, slaps the wall, able to gather it back up. He will lose that position, but now he's under fire from the 91 and the 14.
Just like that, the battle for the transfer spot heats up. Dodge Carlbert is under fire. Trouble behind him. One car spins around. I think that may have been the 61 of Kyle Case. We stay green. Contact between the 14 and the 91. Little door bang in there, and Bart Fahrubel will take over position number 4. Now he sees the 11 machine of Dodge Carlbert. He wants that transfer spot. He's got it in his win.
Lap race, so 5 to go. Dodge Carlbert has that spot at the 14 Fahrubel and Sontag want as the 14 all over the bumper of that 11, trying any way he can to get under him to make sure he transferred to the feed.
Now the battle's starting to heat up for the race lead as well. Dave Daniel is all over the back bumper of Phil Ellis, trying to find a way to lead this heat race for the first time. We'll come to 3 laps to go once they hit the stripe. These guys can afford to battle a little bit. That battle going on for third is well enough behind them to where they can get a little bit aggressive and have some fun racing with each other. But of course, you don't want to get too aggressive and ruin it this late into the heat race. You guys will move on. So how important is that win, really?
Yeah, it's risk versus reward here, Kyle, and it looks like Dave Daniel thinks that the risk is worth the reward, as he's now even looking on that outside of Phil Ellis as they come across. Popsicle sticks, 2 to go.
Bart Fahrubel in the 14 machine, he is still trying to get his way around the number 11 at Dodge Carlbert. He's looking to the inside, pulls back right behind the 11 car. Now the question starts to get, well, how aggressive does he get? It looks like he's trying to find the clean way around, but this is short track racing. White flag is out. Will he use the bumper? This will be the battle to watch here.
The leaders have kind of cemented their way into the feature, so they have nothing to worry about as long as nothing drastic happens here in 3 and 4. But can Dodge Carlbert hold on to it through 3 and 4? The 14 sends it in. Fahrubel can't get to him. Both drivers slide out of the corner. Phil Ellis will be your winner. Dave Daniel second. Carlbert third. Fahrubel fourth. And Tyler Sontag rounding out your top 5.
So once again, the top 3 transfer. Everybody else goes to the consolation. That will include DJ Mooring, Corey Bigley, Brett Huber, Kyle Case, and if Anthony Sergi can figure out those connection issues between now and that consi, we will see him in there as well. So heat race number 1 is in the books. Heat race number 2 taking the grid right now. We'll let you know who is in that one. It will start off with the 48 machine of Chase Jefferson on the pole, and his outside of the number 19 car is Colt Cecil. Inside of row number 2, the 96 machine will start in position 3. That will be driven by Eugene Connell, and Dylan Ritchie in the 26 car will start in 4th. The top 5 will round out with the 84 car of TJ White, and the number 12 machine of Justin Collison will be his dancing partner in 6th. The 86 car of Jason Miller, he will roll off in position number 7, and Curtis Yancey will pilot the 22 car tonight. He starts in position 8. Rounding out your top 10 will be the number 92 car of Jeffrey Gilbo and Kyle Sisko in the 62, starting in position number 10. All by himself on the back row will be the number 10 car of James Stanger. He will have a long way to go. He starts 11th. He needs to get to 3rd to transfer.
The car to watch here might be that number 12 of Justin Collison. He knows how to get around the short tracks of Canada. We'll see if he can get around the short tracks of Virginia here in Martinsville. And he's not afraid to use that chrome horn, as well as keep your eye on the machine of Jeffrey Gilbo, who is starting at shotgun in that 92. He's a driver that is aggressive, he's fierce, and he knows his way to working through a pack, as we see him do time and time again on Wednesday nights at New Smyrna. So a couple drivers here to watch in the back, see if they can make their way up to the front in this 15-lap race.
Yeah, I'll add Kyle Sisko to that excitement list there in the 62 car. We usually see him race on Sunday nights here on the East Coast Winter League, but he has decided to join us over here for the Down South Street Stocks finale. That will be a fun car to watch, starting all the way back in position number 10. Pace truck has gone to pit road. Here we go. Heat race number 2. Another 15 laps. Another 3 cars will go to the heat, or to the feature race out of this heat. The green flag flies, and we are racing once again. A great start for race leader Chase Jefferson. He's going to try to and succeed in clearing Colt Cecil for position. Oh, look, 96 gets turned around. That is Eugene Connell. More cars piling in. I see the 21 involved, another car. We stay green for now.
Sure, they just don't have cautions in these heat races, but I think we mentioned Justin Collison. He's drove all the way up to 3rd place after that, ladies and gentlemen. From the back to a transfer position after, I'd say, half the field almost took themselves out. Jeffrey Gilbo up to 6th place. So after action from 3rd on back, Chase Jefferson has about a 4-car to 5-car lead on Colt Cecil in that 19 machine.
Saw a big slide coming out of turn 4 there for the 26 car of Dylan Ritchie. Ritchie is currently running in position number 4. He is one
Kyle,
spot out of it.
Is the number on the top of Colt Cecil's car backwards?
Well, let's see here. Well, it depends on how you look at it. I see a lot of race cars in the local racing scene. They have their numbers painted towards the grandstand. Usually with NASCAR, you see them facing towards the infield. So depending on what type of racing you're talking about would determine if that's backward.
All right, I just thought maybe I had already too many daddy sodas and I was getting dyslexic, but nonetheless, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't just me. So Chase Jefferson doing a great job out front here.
Yeah, indeed he is. He's opened up a 0.6 of a second lead over Colt Cecil. I'm expecting that gap to grow because Colt was way tight coming out of turn 2 that time, and if he's not too careful, he's going to have the 12 machine of Justin Collison on his rear bumper here in a couple laps. Big slide there for the 19 car. Don't count out the 26 Dylan Ritchie either. I think he might be closing in the gap on the 12, so we could have a 3-car battle here for positions 2 through 4. Another big slide for Colt Cecil.
Colt Cecil battling this rubber buildup right now as he is in that 19 machine. That has opened up the door for Justin Collison to kind of get a little bit of a look down low as Dylan Ritchie's starting to gain on him. But this is exactly what Chase Jefferson wants to see. He wants to make sure he can move on. But at the same time, that 12 machine of Collison, he's in that final transfer position. Dylan Ritchie looking from the outside in. Those two are good friends, so I don't see him really giving him too hard of a time. But if Colt Cecil falls back one, he might be in a world of trouble.
This will be a very fun and intense battle to watch. 2 of these cars, as long as nobody wrecks anyone and it continues to stay facing the right way, 2 of these cars will transfer. 1 of them will not. We don't know exactly who that will be at the moment, but all we can tell you is that Colt Cecil and Justin Collison have those 2 positions, and Dylan Ritchie's on the outside trying to find his way in. Colt Cecil looks like he's starting to get the handle underneath that number 19 car. Hasn't struggled that last lap. Hasn't been able to separate himself from the 12 of Justin Collison. But now I think that the tires are starting to warm up just a little bit, maybe coming up to temperatures, and he's starting to get more laps underneath his belt. He's starting to figure this thing out.
Kyle, I would like to know the setup for this, because even this far throughout the race, the pressures have built up in the tires. There's still smoke in the tires, leaving the rubber behind. On the exit of the corners, these boys are wheeling it here on this Sunday night. And speaking of wheeling it, Dylan Ritchie almost spins off it.
Yeah, they're definitely having to earn their paychecks tonight. We're seeing guys struggle with some tightness coming off. We're seeing with some guys struggle with sideways race cars coming off these turns. Definitely a driver's race tonight, which will only make it that much more entertaining to watch and to call. We have 5 laps left remaining in this heat race. No need to really check in on Chase Jefferson. He's still leading this thing by 1.3 seconds. This battle that we're seeing for 2nd through 4th is the one to pay attention to. 2 cars fighting, 3 cars fighting for 2 transfer spots, those spots being held by Colt Cecil and Justin Collison. So far, everybody's been playing nice. They've been saying like this for about 5 to 7 laps or so. We'll see if anything changes here as we're coming to 3 to go this time.
Kyle, we're about at the time where the gloves are going to come off if you want to move on to this race and not have to worry about a concede. As a 26 of Ritchie all over the bumper of his friend Justin Collison. Collison knows it's time to go. He looks low on Cecil. Cecil leaves the door open. Collison shoots it low in 1 and 2. He gets side by side. Can he clear him the side by side going into 3?
Colt Cecil has to fight on the top side here. He can't afford to let the 12 car slip on by, because if he does, Dylan Ritchie is going to fill that void. 2 laps to go. Great run coming off of turn 4 there for Colt Cecil. He clears Justin Collison, but he doesn't take the bottom line away. Collison fits right back underneath her, side by side, dead even going down the back.
All this going on for second place as well as a transfer spot. If Collison makes one mistake here, he can get crossed up by Dylan Ritchie and have to move on to the Consi. As all 3 of them get sideways coming off of 4 to take the white flag. 1 to go. Cecil, Collison side by side into 2.
Fierce battle going on. We know Chase Jefferson's gonna win it. Who will finish behind him? Collison with the advantage to second. Contact between Collison and Cecil. That shoots Cecil up the racetrack. Opens the door for Dylan Ritchie. Ritchie puts him into the outside wall. Dylan Ritchie will take over position number 3. Knocks Colt Cecil to 4th. He will go to the Conti, and now he gets launched over the
What a... I don't think... Oh, we were on board with him when that happened as well. Great shot there, Paul. I've given everybody their stomach a turn. Man, oh man, it's kind of a little bit of a tag team there on Colt Cecil at the end of that when friends Collison and Ritchie moving on. So now it's time for the Conti, where I believe, once we all catch our breaths here, the top 14 will move on. That might be actually the field, if I stand correct. I'm not exactly sure here. No, we got 16 that's scheduled to start, so we might be sending 2 home. Looking out of that, it actually looks like 2 of those cars won't be starting, or at least haven't gridded yet. So I believe everybody may be moving on.
Yeah, we've got a handful of drivers that are not in the server. The 18 of Donald Clark, the 10 of James Stanger, and the 62 of Kyle Cisco do not appear to be connected with us. So I know that Cisco and Clark, yeah, all 3 of them are supposed to be in this consolation race. So if the 13 that are in the server jump in and start, they will be able to make it without any problems. This will be just a consolation race to see how we start everybody in this race. And who knows, maybe this could be a benefit for these guys. Of course, they're going to start further behind the guys that are already qualified in, but this extra 25-lap race could give them an advantage over those guys who have been sitting and watching all these races go on.
All right, so there's no pressure here. If you're one of these drivers, you know you're moving on, but it's going to come down to qualifying position, where you're going to start in the 125-lap feature. And Kyle, if I'm a driver in this race, I got 2 strategies. If I can't win it, I want dead last, because if I can't start as close as I can to the front at Martinsville, I want as far as back as I can for a 125-lap.
Yeah, there's usually a lot of calamity that happens on these short track races. Let's see, we're going to have 8 cars that went in through qualifying. We'll have 6 plus 8 is 14, plus another 14. We got 13 on the track, so that tells me we got 27 cars that are going to be scheduled for this feature event. 25 laps is a lot of time to make things up, but that's a pretty big field for a half mile. Should create a lot of excitement and drama for sure. So here we go. We're going to get things rocking and rolling with this consolation race. Bart Fahrubel and Colt Cecil will be on the front row. The joys of sim racing. You just saw Colt Cecil fly through the air and over pit wall. Just like that, he's got a fresh, brand new car ready to compete. The green flag flies, and here we go. It's an even start going into turn 1. Colt Cecil has in trouble in turn 1.
We already have a 1 around. That was Curtis Yancey in the 22. Caution has came out. I don't believe there's any other incidents on the track, but a little bit of a late caution there for Yancey, but it does fly as that 22 machine took a lap around. So we get our first caution of the night, and it comes in the 25-lap consi here. So unfortunate break there for the 21. I believe he just got a little sideways. Paul's going to get us that replay. Or 22, I'm sorry. I believe it is. 21 on his car.
Yeah, just pulling up the AWS Roofing Instant Replay right now, and we'll get this to you here. We'll give it to you in real time, and we're going to focus in on that 21 car. You see it gets a little bit high, and a little bit of help there from the 86 car, and a little bit more help from the 84 up there in the rubber balls, the rubber material that's kind of getting it's getting tore off these tires and kind of thrown up towards the wall. So you see a lot of these guys, if they get out of the groove, they get a little bit extra loose, and definitely saw that happen there on the 21 car.
You know, no matter if the balls are rubber or what they are, you never want them thrown up at the wall, Paul.
That's the truth, 100%. I don't, well, never mind.
All right, and thank you again, everybody that is watching here tonight. If you're watching on YouTube or you're not, go ahead and give us a subscribe on YouTube at Vidane TV. We always have some really cool stuff going on our social media, including YouTube, giveaways, all that good stuff. Facebook, go ahead and hit that follow button. We race 7 days a week almost at this point. We're bringing you action. Double header coming to you tomorrow night. Action starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. So that's going to be a fun one. And then, of course, I believe Tuesday we got an event. Wednesday we're back at New Smyrna with, I'd say, almost half of the field that you're seeing tonight. You're going to see on Wednesday nights as well. And we thank you so much for your support, especially this YouTube, Facebook, even Twitch. Vidane Racing on Twitch now is getting a revamp. So want to make sure we get you the action. And, man, I'm only seeing one comment tonight from Gene Connell. It looks like he wasn't happy with what happened in that last heat race. Chat with us. Tell us who your favorite driver is, who you want to see to win, who you want to see get put in the wall. Let us know. We'll talk to you.
Seeing the same thing in our Facebook feed. I know I've got a handful of my Facebook friends that are in here watching. Robert Hill is here. Mitch Brown is here. Brian Parr, Jamie Cowie, and Joseph Boychek all checking out the action here for the Down South Street Stocks at Martinsville Speedway. Glad to see you guys here watching with us. But as mentioned, feel free to chime in. We read comments. We love interacting our viewers. As we mentioned at the top of the show, I'm checking out Facebook. Clearly, Wes is doing the same thing. Wes is more paying attention to the YouTube channel than I am. So
Man,
whether
I'm over here on Twitch and I'm all by myself. Vidane Racing TV, twitch.tv/Vidane Racing TV. Come hang out with me and talk to me about the race.
ignore Paul. We only really need him for when the replays happen. Other than that, Wes and I steal the show because we're better than Paul. It's just
Paul's going to burn us down. Good job.
When's the last time you won a race, Kyle? Oh, wait.
We are back green. We are back green flag racing as our leader Colt Cecil smokes them coming out of 2 and more calamity further in the back. Can they hold it straight? Nope. The 28 of Corey Bigley. Oh, he bounces off the Kyle Case, number 61, gets his car straightened up, but the battle for the lead now is up. There goes Bart in the 14, getting completely sideways over to the door for the Heartbreak Kid, Tyler Sontag.
Bart Fahrubel going to lose a handful of positions there. That puts Cole Cecil in the lead. Tyler Sontag in second. And now Fahrubel will settle into position number 3. A big wiggle there down the backstretch for the number 64 car of Brent Huber. He's able to hang on and will fall in line in position number 5. But he is under attack. The 96 car of Gene Connell trying to recover from heat race troubles. He's looking to take over that position in the top 5 while also hanging off the guys behind him. Gene now underneath of Huber, as Huber is all sorts of out of shape, bouncing off the backstretch wall. He'll lose that spot to Connell, and now here comes Jeffrey Gilbo underneath to take the one from him.
Kyle, there's cars they're like slinkies all over the place, like little worms. They're just, they're wiggling everywhere, but somehow able to still keep control in these corners. Through each turn is just covered in smoke. The way that they're just dragging those rear tires around these corners. And there goes Tyler Sontag, the Heartbreak Kid. He got that nickname for a reason. Calamity coming out of 4 as the 84 drives through him literally, and they keep him straight somehow, and they turn him again. We stay green somehow as he's stuck on the wall.
Tough break for Tyler Sontag. The caution flag stays in its holster. Now he piles it head first into the turn 1 outside wall. He gets off the racetrack, so it looks like we will stay green flag for the surprising moment. It is still Colt Cecil that is out in front of this race. He has a 1-second lead over Bart Fahrubel in position number 2. DJ Mooring is in 3rd, Gene Connell 4th, and Kyle Case in the 61 rounds out your top 5 after all that mess.
Some people are like, why do you guys call Tyler Heartbreak Kid? Well, Exhibit A. We've been watching him race now for over 6 weeks on here, and every time he has something good going for him, something bites him. And again, we see that tonight in the Consi. Luckily, he will be moving on to the feature tonight, so no worries on the Tyler Sontag fans, as now I believe the only battle we really have here on the track is for that 7th position, Corey Bigley in the 28. He passes Brent Huber in the 64. Brent been struggling most of this race here, Kyle.
Yeah, he is definitely not having the best of consolation races right now. The 86 car right behind him, Jason Miller, nearly got into the back bumper and shoved him up the racetrack, but was not able to do so, lost a little bit of ground. You see Tyler Sontag rejoining the race. He is a handful
there goes a 64.
goes Huber. Just as soon as we thought he was able to hang on and was starting to recover, he spins himself around in turn 4. No caution flag. He gets it going again, running down the front stretch, getting back up to speed. We will continue to run green.
Still green flag here at the Martinsville Speedway. We're on lap 14 of 25. Your leader coming across the line now with Colt Cecil coming through 2. He has done a great job after being catapulted beyond pit road at the end of last race, but not too far behind him is Fahrubel in that 14. He's kind of just kept him right there at striking distance, Kyle.
Yeah, these top 3 cars are quite close to each other. They're all within about 8.5 tenths of each other, but not really pressuring anyone just yet. They all know that they're going to the main event. Their starting positions really don't mean all that much in all reality. It's a long race, and battling for an extra spot or 2 really doesn't mean too much when you're starting back in the lower 20s, upper 25s, really. Going to be a long charge for anybody here, no matter where they finish. You see these guys starting to struggle just a little bit with the handling once again. You saw DJ Mooring there bouncing off
84 goes around a TJ White. He gets fishtailed by Kyle Case in the back. Big rectangular saw tags involved in another one. Curtis Yancey caught up. TJ White is on his roof. We're still green flag.
That is a very unsafe call, Wes. I don't know why you wouldn't throw the caution flag for a car upside.
I think he may have exited his car.
Did he finally have a stroke?
He may have. I think the gentleman that was on his roof may have hit the tow button quick enough where they didn't have to bring out a caution. So, man, a lot of calamity, not a lot of yellows. If you're a fan of long green flag runs, you're loving this. If you like restarts, well, you're not a big fan of this. But we got a great battle now heating up front.
Indeed we do. Bart Fahrubel has closed in that gap on Colt Cecil. He's just about half a car length behind the number 19 car. Paying attention to these two, I kind of feel like they might be teammates, Wes. They're running the same style paint scheme with the same sponsor on their cars, just different colors. So I think we'll see some fair play here amongst these guys. We're coming to 5 laps to go right now. The 2 Hydrotech cars are leading this thing. Colt Cecil in the 19 ahead of Bart Fahrubel in the 14.
For one reason or another, the 61 of Kyle Case has been black flagged. He's heading his way down onto pit road now. Not exactly sure what happened with the Kyle Case machine, but tough break for him. That will definitely end his chances in this one. So, so he's got to make his pit stops to make sure he doesn't get disqualified. But we're going to wrap up this consi as we are on lap 22 of 25. That battle up front is still heating up.
Indeed it is, and we're not just talking about the tires. The 14 car still continuing to pressure the 19 of Bart Fahrubel. DJ Mooring in the 09 has kind of fallen off these guys just a little bit. He hasn't dropped dramatically off the pace, but he is still just about 7 car lengths in between himself and the 14 of Fahrubel. Fahrubel now trying some different lines. Looks like he's starting to struggle keeping up with the 19 of Colt Cecil. 2.5 laps to go. These guys continue to touch the outside safer barrier just a little bit. Now we'll have to worry about lap traffic. The 64 car, Brent Huber, going to get in the way here in these final couple laps.
DJ Mooring's kind of doing that thing where he's just keeping them in striking distance. If anything happens, he's close enough to take advantage of it, but he's far enough to avoid it if something were to happen. It's like he's just keeping right around a crosshair, right there. He's got him right in his crosshairs.
White flag will fly one more time around in this consolation race. The lap car of Brent Huber currently running the same line that the leaders are. We'll see if they pressure him to get on by. Bart Fahrubel now, he is closing in on the back bumper of Colt Cecil. What does he do here in turn 3? He looks to the outside. He's going to try an outside pass at the paperclip, touches him in the right rear corner, but it will not work. Colt Cecil will go to victory lane here in our consolation race over Bart Fahrubel. DJ Mooring comes home in position number 3. Gene Connell in 4th, and Corey Bigley will round out your top 5. Again, everybody in this race will transfer on. The remaining of the finishers is Jason Miller in 6th, Jeffrey Gilbo 7th, Brent Huber in 8th, Curtis Yancey 9th, TJ White in 10th, Kyle Case in 11th, and Tyler Sontag rounding out the 12-car starters. This was supposed to be a 16-car field. We had 12 of them start. So now we're all set, Wes. We have our field racked up and ready to go for our 125-lap feature event. Once again, this is the season finale for the Down South Street Stocks. Devin McLeod is your points leader by just 1 point. I don't know exactly who the second place person in points is. I don't have the points in front of me, but I know you guys do.
Do we have a national anthem for this race, or are we just going to do a quick warm? All right, so we're going to kick into the national anthem real fast, and then we'll get you the points.
So here we go, getting ready for the start of this feature finale for the Down South Street Stocks. Once again, mentioning that this is a 125-lap race. We will crown a champion tonight. Your points leader, Devin McLeod, going into it. He will start in position number 8. No surprises here. The points leader was the fastest driver in qualifying. Due to the invert, he will start in position 8. So your front row will look like this. We'll have Jonathan Thompson in the 03 starting on the pole, and Blake Warren in the 60 car will start in position number 2. Now, we haven't seen these guys on the track since qualifying because we took the top 8 straight from qualifying to go to the race. So this will be their first racing action of the night. Inside of row number 2 is the 6 of Jimmy Frazier. He will drive with Dalton Nelson in the 75 to his outside, starting in 4th place. Brian Blum in the 31 car is going to start in position number 5, and then Eric Purcell driving car number 1. He will start in position 6. And then you have your 2 fast qualifiers. Cody Brinson in the 45 starting in position number 7, and then Devin McLeod will start in position number 8, your fastest qualifier and points leader here tonight. Rounding out the top 10, we will have Phil Ellis in the number 9 car and Chase Jefferson in the 48.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Vidane TV is presenting to you your Vidane TV Tag Team Champ. No, wait, no, there's no Tag Team Champions. There's no DX. What we do have is the finale here at the Down South Street Stocks here at Martinsville. I'm ready to go. Got margaritas on tap with some Bud Light and Daddy sodas. Ready to watch 125 laps as Paul claps his hands on his tummy. You get here. Roll.
Ow.
Can we do that before every race? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting this rocking and rolling here. All right, who's your sleeper here, Kyle? Who's going to pull it off that you may not have picked right?
Oh, man. you're putting me on the spot here, scrolling through. Who do I want to take as my sleeper? Well, I don't necessarily know if this is considered a sleeper or not, seeing that we've already seen him go to victory lane tonight, but I'm going to say the 48 car of Chase Jefferson. He looked very good in that heat race, was able to run away to a pretty easy lead. He's going to start in position number 10 tonight. Actually, I think he's going to start a little bit further up than that because I see that we have a couple guys going EOL. But either way, maybe not somebody that you would expect to be super duper competitive. I don't know. This is the first time that we've checked out this league. I'm going with Chase Jefferson.
All right, I'm going to go with my old buddy from 10 years ago, Justin Carlson in the 12, or if he can't get it done, Cody Brinson in the 98. The guy's fast, he's aggressive, and his mom is watching. I got to pick Cody Brinson as we are green flag racing here at Martinsville Speedway.
Final initial green flag of the season for the Down South Street Stocks is out, and it's pole sitter Jonathan Thompson jumping out to the early race lead. Hearing a lot of contact already, but everybody's still staying clean and green. Look at that field of street stocks, double file, snarling down into turn 3. Jonathan Thompson will lead lap number 1.
He's not going to lead it by a bunch because here comes the 60 on the outside of Blake Warren, trying to get that outside line to stick. And oh, there goes the 75 of Dalton. Dalton McFro, Dalton. Oh, yep, Dalton's on his lid. Oh, Dalton's done, boys. Dalton, man, oh man. Luckily, these guys do have one reset. If they didn't have a reset, half the field would be in trouble, as we saw one car on his roof at the end of the day there of Dalton Nelson in that 75 machine. He just kind of got turned on the outside there, Paul, and all calamity after that.
Yeah, all that roof damage, he should get in touch with AWS Roofing as they're bringing us the instant replay right now. Focus in, you can see that one car goes down low on the 31. Doesn't really matter too much, though. The 75 just loses the back end of that race car and gets hit by pretty much everybody. Like you said, gets put up on his roof, hits the reset button. He's going to have to get towed there. He's going to end up being a lap or two down. But like you said, he does have that one reset. So be able to come back out onto the racetrack with a new car, but going to be probably 2 or 3 laps down by the time we get there.
That was almost like a teenage party hosted by R. Kelly. The other cars just couldn't avoid him, and he was just there to collect them all. Just kind of like Pokemon. As we're going to come back around here, and we got a car going to the back. That's Brian Blum in the 31. He may have been given, he was given an EOL penalty, second place in points. That's a huge blow to the points situation. Brian Blum only 1 point back from Devin McLeod. He just got moved all the way back into the pack, where Devin McLeod, ladies and gentlemen, is on pit road right now. So, man, maybe some strategy here. I'm not sure exactly if Devin got caught up in that or not, but as I'm going to catch it real quick, see if Devin did. Devin did not. So seeing Devin down pit road, that's going to be interesting.
Even more interesting, Wes, is that the pace truck just went by Devin. He has lost the lead lap. Points leader Devin McLeod will fall 1 lap down as he sits in pit road right now. The whole field is going to cycle on by, so we already have a dramatic shakeup in the points. Your points leader goes a lap down early on. Second in points gets sent to the end of the line. I'm not really sure who's in third, or if third even has an opportunity to steal this championship away, but this will be fun to follow. Now the 21 of McLeod will roll off of pit road, so he's only going to lose a lap, but that will put him at a dramatic deficit early on.
Third place is Dylan Ritchie, who is 30 points behind. So depending how their point system is, he may still have a chance. So that's going to be a story to watch. And I'm hearing there's news on the chat that Devin needed a bathroom break. We cannot confirm or deny that. So Devin McLeod, though, has stacked himself behind the 8 ball.
That's just unprofessional. If you got a potty break inside the race car, you're supposed to wet your fire suit. You're not supposed to climb out and go to the bathroom. Come on now, Devin. Anyway, here we go. Going back green flag. Well, actually, he may not have lost the lap. I'm seeing caution laps actually do not count for this feature event. So that may be a saving grace to the 21 car of Devin McLeod. We'll see how timing and scoring updates. But yeah, caution laps are not counting tonight, which may or may not be a bad thing, depending on how this race goes.
I'm glad I brought a lot of beverages here tonight, just in case it goes south, since this is the Down South Street Stocks. But we're single file, though, throughout the field. all the way back to about 10th position here, Kyle. So I think these drivers are going to start getting into a rhythm here. We're going to get the tires warmed up and start knocking off some laps. So it's going to be the story to watch as Devin McLeod is already starting to work his way up through the pack in that 21 machine.
Yeah, I can confirm with you now that Devin McLeod did not lose a lap, so that's a bit of information that I have just learned myself about the iRacing software. When caution laps are off, you cannot lose a lap. So Devin McLeod stays on the lead lap. He is in 17th. Second in points, Brian Blum is right behind him in 18th place. So those two guys will be looking to charge their way through the field. Up at the front of the field, though, we do have a new race leader. It is the 60 machine of Blake Warren. He has moved to the front. Cody Brinson is in position number 2. He is all over the back bumper of the 60 car, wanting to take the lead. And then Jimmy Frazier in the 6 is in 3rd.
Kyle, I'll tell you what, even after the 60 of Blake Warren took the lead, he's been completely sideways on exit. And knowing Cody Brinson, Cody's going to put the pressure on him, where if that 60 makes one mistake, Cody's going to be there to pounce on him. So that 60 of Blake Warren may be the leader now, but he needs to stay mistake-free or Brinson's there to pounce.
There's a battle for position number 5 going on. That is the case. The 03 Jonathan Thompson just surrendered that spot to the 29 of Phil Ellis. Thompson will now fall in line behind Ellis, but Chase Jefferson in the 48 does not allow him to do that for long. He goes to the inside and will file on by. Here comes Dodge Carlbert looking to the inside. The freight train effect going on here, Wes. The 03 getting stuck on the top side, not able to find a hole, and is losing positions quickly.
One-way train on a runaway track as he works his way to the back. A big wreck in the back. Huge wreck. That 28 is bouncing like a bunny. Tyler Sontag, the Heartbreak Kid, is caught up in it in the 91 and more. Ladies and gentlemen, we have another big one here at Martinsville track. It looks like this one was actually started up front with the 28 after the 28 machine of Corey Bigley loses it on his own. He just kind of blocks the track. The 19 of Colt Cecil gets into it and more.
Pulling it up here on the AWS Instant Replay, giving it to you real time in the blimp view, and we're going to focus in on that 19 car as he seemed to be where most of the action went to. Everything looks good heading into the corner. Then you see the 26 just get around, back end comes on around, and unfortunately got up into those marbles. It's a really good shot, shows all the rubble buildup on the top and the bottom of the track down in the apron there. But a lot of small hits, a little bit of fender damage, but it doesn't look like there's anything too crazy as far as a hard hit. So it doesn't look like anybody's going to lose a lap, but you're definitely going to see these guys on pit road trying to fix some of this damage, Wes.
Seems like every time I sing, there's an accident. So I think I'll retire from that gig and continue calling races. But
Good idea.
yeah, shut up, Kyle. Tough break here for those drivers. But again, caution lap's not counting, so they got time to fix their hot rods and get back out there.
I think the officials may want to take a look at that 28 car after the race. That thing was bouncing in turn 4 after it was done crashing, like it had hydraulics in the front end. Something that you would see on the streets on a car meet or something like that, just bouncing up and down. Very peculiar looking. I still can't say it right. Whatever. So we're continuing under caution here, as mentioned. Caution laps are not counting, so we are working our way through lap number 9. It is now Cody Brinson out at the front of the field. Blake Warren is in position number 2. Jimmy Frazier is 3rd. Eric Purcell 4th. And Phil Ellis rounds out your top 5. Pole sitter Jonathan Thompson is in position number 6. Chase Jefferson is 7th. Dodge Carlbert 8th. Justin Collison is in 9th. And Dylan Ritchie rounds out your top 10 competitors. We can let you know that we had 25 cars start our main event here tonight. The only one off of the lead lap at the moment is the 75 of Dalton Nelson. He has disconnected from the server, so the assumption can be made that he is done for the evening.
What? What's that I hear? Oh, I hear that Cody Brinson's the leader. That's what I'm hearing. Sorry, guys. Race control was saying, hey, watch out for Cody Brinson. He's about to lap the field. But I believe that was his mom somehow. She was, just scanning into her headsets, trying to boost up her son here in the 98. Everybody, if you're watching this as well, again, thank you for your support. Share this video on Facebook. Let your friends see this great 125 lap action as we are green flag here. Cody Brinson takes the lead with Blake Warren in tow in second. The battle is for third, and the one comes down on the 9. The one of Eric Purcell comes down on the 9. He's sideways, and the caution is out again here at Martinsville Speedway. This time, Eric Purcell and Jimmy Frazier get collected for the 3rd position.
The Stimulus Racing #1 machine makes contact with the 6 of Jimmy Frazier. I think he was trying to jump down to the inside line thinking that he was clear, but he was not, and he goes around. We'll send things on over to Paul, give you a nice rundown on our AWS roofing replay.
Kyle, I'm wondering if we take a shot for every caution, how many paramedics will it take for us to get us out of the house?
We may not make it out of the house.
Paul, you alive?
Yep, probably quite a few, because me and Kyle are kind of big. We're taking a look right now, right off the start, looking at the 09 in the back here. Okay, that's where it was. It started, like you guys said, way up front in the #1 car. For some reason, the 1 car isn't popping. Oh, I lied to you. There you go. Oh, it moved again on me.
Paul, it looks like the 1 just he just comes down. He doesn't know the 9 is there. He's trying to set up for turn 1, and the 9 still has a bumper there and comes across it.
Yeah, just having some technical difficulties. Easy enough for me to say. Here we go. We'll back that up again here. And right off the start, you can see the leader comes down, and the 1 car comes across the nose of the #6 car and just kind of loses a little bit. And it's one of those things where he just kind of blocked up the entire track. So tough break there. You can see the 09 didn't hit anything. Was able to get the brakes on just in time.
All right, so back up front after that calamity up front. Usually you don't see accidents like that happen up front until maybe later on in the race, but this time it happened for 3rd position. But Cody Brinson still your leader. Blake Warren 2nd. Jimmy Frazier is going to be in the 3rd position once we go back green. Phil Ellis 4th, and Chase Jefferson will round out your top 5. And a couple drivers to watch for. The Heartbreak Kid, Tyler Sontag, going to be lining up here. As well as we had by Justin Collison. I'm not actually seeing the 12. Actually, there's Justin Collison. Justin Collison's going to be lined up in the top 10 on the inside of Carlbert. So I'm ready to get back to green flag action here in Martinsville.
We will do so in just about half a lap. It'll come with the completion of lap number 10, so still a long way to go here in this Down South Street Stock season finale. Cody Brinson going to hit the loud pedal and will run away from the field. Green flag returns to the air. We return to full speed racing. Quickly, the top 6 cars or so going to single file out. That leaves the first side-by-side battle that happened between the 12 of Justin Collison and the 26 of Dylan Ritchie. Those 2 guys picking up right where they left off in their heat race. Collison has a spot. Whoa, look out, Bart Fahrubel gets sideways on entry. Is he going to save it? He does. What a nice save by the 14.
That checks up the entire field there, Kyle. Everybody kept it straight. Great job by these drivers. And now Tyler Sontag, Kyle Case side-by-side further back. Tyler Sontag trying to work his way up to this field. He's had an eventful night so far. Colt Cecil and Eugene Connell, however he may say it, he's had an eventful night tonight in the heats and the consi. So, yeah, I think he just wants to see his car stay straight for a change.
Looks like the majority of the field kind of single filing out here, getting into line and trying to log some laps. A little bit of bumper contact going on there between the 21 and the 86. Again, the 21 car, that is Devin McLeod, your points leader. A lot on the line for him tonight. He's kind of marred back in traffic, running a little bit further back than what he would like to at the moment. So maybe a little bit of impatience early on here getting into the 21. He wants to move his way through the field. He's going to do so by getting underneath that 86 car of Jason Miller. He will take that spot coming off of turn number 2. Already seeing some battle wounds on some of these cars back here, Wes.
Kyle, as of right now, Devin McLeod going into this as a points leader by 1 point. He's currently not in that points lead as he's coming around the track here.
We get trouble. The 64 car hooks the 03, and it ends with the 1 of Eric Purcell upside down and flipping wildly on top of the safer barrier in turn number 1. Caution flag has flown, and look at Purcell drive that thing away. It is crab walking big time. That Stimulus Racing number 1, all sorts of beat up. That was a spectacular crash.
Yeah, it looked like the 64 barely clipped the 0-3, send the 0-3 up into the 88, and over goes the 1. Now, this is the second incident the 1 was in. I will be extremely interested to see, did he use his reset prior? Because if he didn't, man, that car might not be able to hold up the speed.
Looking at the replay right now, you guys pretty much went through everything, and you can see exactly what happened there. Tough break for the 1 car. Like you said, I hope he didn't use that reset. Flipping all the way out, hitting the inside wall, flipping, hitting the outside wall, changing directions, landing on all fours, and he's able to grab a gear and still drive away. Dog walking, legging, whatever you said it was. Crab, whatever animal, whatever leg, whatever walk.
Have you seen a dog walk like that?
Dogs don't have wheels.
Neither do crabs.
I know dogs that have wheels.
Paul, whatever crab you're messing with that has wheels, you need to get away from it and her.
Yeah.
We're going to get
Story of my life.
We're going to get back rocking and rolling here. We're going to see if he used his reset or not, but wild one already here at Martinsville.
The one machine of Eric Purcell has used his reset under this incident, so he will get that fresh car. A wild, spectacular flip, but he has gotten that reset taken care of, so his lifeline has been used. He needs to take care of that car from this point out. It's also worth mentioning that there is an incident limit cap on these drivers here tonight. They have 30 incident points before disqualification. So to kind of put that into perspective for you guys, that allows these drivers to slam into another car 8 times and spin out once before they get disqualified. If anybody hits that limit, they probably deserve to be disqualified.
Yeah, 30 is a hard number to hit. Then again, I've done it before. So
well, it's because you suck.
That's absolutely why I'm in the booth here, Kyle. Great observation there. Tell us about the weather later. But we're getting ready to double up here. But 30 is a high number to try to hit. But nonetheless, all right, back to our points battle. Devin McLeod sitting 15th. He came into this as a points leader to 31 of Brian Blum. Only 1 point back going into this, is sitting 9th. So right now, Brian Blum would be your champion if it ended here on lap 15. However, it does not. We still have 110 laps to go as the pace truck makes its way off the pit road. Cody Brinson fires. We're back under green.
Another great start for Brinson. Jimmy Frazier was ready for it. He gets underneath the 60 machine of Blake Warren and is going to try to take over position number 2. He does so coming off of turn 2. And now here comes Dodge Culver underneath the 60 car. He wants to do the same thing, fill that open gap, and continue to freight train the 60 of Blake Warren out. Carlbert will get on by. Is there enough space for Philip Ellis to drive through into turn number 1? Not quite yet. Blake Warren wants to use that top side and maybe fight back.
Great battles all over the track here at Martinsville Speedway as we have the 21 of Devin McLeod working his way methodically through the field. He was your points leader going in. Again, we're going to check on him as well as Blum quite a few times here in this race, the 31 and the 21, to make sure we know exactly where our points battle is out. Those 2 drivers are going to be the ones to watch. And finally, looks like we might be able to start logging some laps. Jonathan Thompson works his way now in that number 12 machine up to P4. He gets around Dodge Culver. That 48 of Jefferson sails it in there. Almost knocks the rear bumper off of Carlbert.
Yeah, he was trying to play a little defense there on Brian Blum in the 31. Blum has gone forward on this restart and wanted to try to do so an extra spot around the 48 to chase Jefferson, but Jace kind of threw the block there going into turn 1 that previous lap. Got a little sideways on entry because of it, but everybody's able to gather it up here, and we continue to run in single file. Brian Blum now up to position number 7 off of the restart. Devin McLeod is 5 positions back in 12th. So Devin McLeod slowly working his way up through the field after starting in the back of the field for this feature race. Brian Blum doing a nice job. He started in position number 5. He had to suffer an end-of-line penalty earlier, a little after Devin McLeod did, but he has worked his way up nicely as he currently rides in position 7.
And that Devin McLeod machine, that 21, is not in perfect shape. With the front end of that car is pretty beat up, but not to the point where he would need to use a reset if he has one left. But that's always a story as well. If you have the resets, using them properly, using them methodically, that's kind of a strategy when it comes to using them. So Back up front, though, your leader is Cody Brinson. Jimmy Frazier, though, right there with him, along with the 29 of Phil Ellis.
Yeah, I kind of got a little bit of a 4-car pack before there's some space between the 12 of Justin Collison and the 11 of Dodge Carlbert. You got Brinson leading, Frazier in second, Phil Ellis in position number 3, and then, as I just mentioned, Justin Collison in position number 4. We were able to get some pre-race words with Justin Collison before we jumped onto the airways. This is actually Justin's first start with the Down South Street Stocks, making a pretty crucial start here in the season finale, but either way, Justin Collison looking to wrap up this season, his first start, with a solid run, and so far so good, as he's running in the top 5 right now.
Collison, no stranger to short tracks in the land of Canada. He's tearing it up. His father as well races, so it's kind of a father-son duo up there. Pretty cool. Me and Justin go way back, about 10 years ago. We both race in a league that does not deserve to be mentioned on our television, and we used to tear up the tracks there as well. So Justin is a kid I got to watch grow up, basically, and watching him sim race as well as some real racing. Great to see him again here in iRacing, be able to call a race that he's involved in.
That gap that I just mentioned between himself and Dodge Carlbert has vanished. Carlbert, Chase Jefferson, and Brian Blum have now made this a 7-car string up at the front of the field. Brian Blum is peeking to the inside of the 48 car on the entry to 3. Jefferson is able to fend off that charge for right now, but we've seen Brian Blum make that attempt a couple times and has been denied. You'll have to start thinking how aggressive the 31 is going to get that position. Lots on the line for that 31 car. He is in the championship position right now. Devin McLeod has worked his way up to position 10 in these last few laps, but Brian Blum is still hanging on to the championship lead for now.
We got a battle for the lead as Jimmy Frazier's all over the bumper of the Cody Brinson number 98 machine. Cody Brinson has one hiccup. Frazier's going to be there, and Phil Ellis is right in tow. These top 3 have kind of pulled away, but here comes Collison now trying to gather it up, try to join this party, but the number 9 is basically glued to the bumper of the 98.
These guys finally starting to get into a rhythm. We're logging laps here, currently on lap number 29. Lots of single file action going on right now, but lots of close competitors, lots of close competition here. These guys pretty much bumper to bumper throughout a good portion of the field. Not really a lot of opportunity to escape one another here at the half-mile paperclip that they call Martinsville Speedway. Look at Phil Ellis. He's all over that back bumper of the 6 car, kind of pushing his way through. Brian Blum just got a nice piece of the outside wall in turn number 2. He will continue on, but that's obviously not what he wants to do, trying to reel in that 48 car of Chase Jefferson once again, bending up the sheet metal on that main performance PC number 31 car. You can see the brake rotors glowing on that thing. Hard on the brakes here is that Brian Blum car. Nothing out of the ordinary for Martinsville. Lots of brakes needed to be used here at this racetrack. You want to make sure you don't abuse them, but then again, it's iRacing, so you can't really abuse brakes.
Yeah, that's the one bright side of iRacing. You can't really abuse the brakes. There's a lot that you can abuse in real life that you can't abuse in iRacing when it comes to a race car. So a lot of these drivers are able to take advantage of that, as now it basically, Kyle, it's your top 7, I believe, that are nose to tail up front, with Blake Warren, who started up front in that number 60 machine in 8th. But your top 7 cars can be thrown under a blanket if you're kinky like that.
Just about a second and a half separating your top 7. Now we see another battle. That's your championship contender, Devin McLeod, going underneath the 14 car of Bart Fahrubel for position number 9. He will take over that position. Devin McLeod on the move towards the front of the field. Oh, Bart almost got that back bumper going into turn number 1. Fortunately, those 2 cars are able to stay off of each other. A bit of a gap now, about half a straightaway between the 21 and the 60 of Blake Warren. So Devin's got some work to do if he wants to reel in position number 8. Blake Warren now starting to reel in on the back bumper of the 31 of Blum.
It's good to see a long green flag run to get in here. I know we've only been green for like 15 laps or so, but that's long here. Quick notables, Colt Cecil is on pit road. Not exactly sure what happened with that 19 machine, but he is on pit road now. This might be a strategy call, not too sure, but he's going to fall at least a lap or 2 now. So interesting to see what happened with Colt. Tyler Sontag, he's always a fan favorite. He's going to be in the 91 machine. He's going to be right around currently in the 15th position, slowly falling back. Not a good night here for that driver of Tyler Sontag. And Devin McLeod, your points leader going in, sitting in 9th so far, with Brian Blum second in points, sitting 6th right now on the field. So McLeod, he's just slower and slower, but methodically moving his way up closer to that 31.
Yeah, Brian Blum was finally able to get around the 48 of Chase Jefferson, and now he is trying to challenge Dodge Culver for a top 5 spot. He continues to peak to the bottom. Nothing quite yet. Now he's going to try to go back in turn 1. Carlbert slams the door shut and denies Brian Blum of that 5th position for now. But you know how strong the 31's been so far tonight. He's going to continue to battle. We can see a bit of a gap starting to form up between the 11 and the 12. Blum can see that. He wants to close that up and continue to work his way forward. He looks again coming off of turn 4, but nothing there.
Back up front, they are still just bumper to bumper up there. No one's making any drastic moves yet. We still got a long way to go. Last thing we want to do is ride around under caution, so nobody wants to be that guy that brings out the caution. As the top 4 is nose to tail, you got a little bit of about a 3-car length break back to Dodge Culver in the 5th position, and then the 31 of Brian Blum. The Chase Jefferson in 7th, Blake Warren 8th, 9th position of Devin McLeod, and 10th of Bart Fahrubel. So that's going to round out your top 10. And now the 31 of Brian Blum trying to get into the action, but side by side now, Collison and Ellis battling for 3rd.
Yeah, Phil Ellis made a bit of a mistake coming off of turn number 2 that last time by, and that allowed Justin Collison to sneak underneath. He's got the advantage coming off of the turn. Ellis is going to hit the brakes a little bit, try to fit in line behind the 12, and he does so. Look at Brian Blum shoot to the top side and make the outside lane work around Dodge Culver, but the caution flag flies as soon as he tries to make that happen. The 64 machine is in trouble once again. That is Brent Huber. He is spun around on the outside wall in turns 1 and 2. Not exactly sure how he got there. It looks like some contact between himself and the 09 car of DJ Mooring. We'll send things on over to Paul in our AWS Roofing instant replay to check it out more in depth.
Looking at it from the blimp view, and you said it exactly as it went down. The 64 got a little bit of help there from the 09 car. You can see they're heading on down into turn number 1. 64 comes down a little bit quicker than the 09 anticipated, it looks like. Wasn't able to get onto the binders and slow that car down. Just kind of a lazy spin towards the outside wall. Doesn't make any kind of contact or anything like that. And we'll back that up again so we can actually show the instant replay and not the instant replay loading screen. There we go, real time. Everything I just said for double. Lazy spin by the two of them, not even any kind of wall contact. So good, tough that they got spun around there, but at least they were able to grab a gear, get rolling back again, Wes.
You would throw it to me after the message I just sent you. I appreciate it there, buddy. As we are rocking and rolling here back at Verdane TV. Again, if you're watching on Facebook, be sure to give us a follow. If you're not on YouTube, man, you got to catch us up on YouTube. Go to Verdane TV on YouTube. We always got some cool stuff going on there. We always do little kind of giveaways and stuff like that as well. We try to do with our YouTube followers, as well as Verdane. What is it on Twitch? I think it's like Verdane Racing TV on Twitch. Check us out there as well. We are everywhere, and we thank you for your support. We know a lot of your states are still shut down. You're not able to get back to green flag racing. The states that are still rocking and rolling, including Florida, that we can race, but Mother Nature isn't allowing us. We're still trying to give you a break. So, hey, shout out to New Smyrna Speedway. Shout out to North Florida Speedway, Volusia, all the tracks here in Florida. They're trying to get rocking and rolling. If you want to keep up with those tracks, you got to follow Sunshine State Racing on Facebook. That's Sunshine State Racing. They cover all the tracks here in what they call the Sunshine State. But we haven't seen sunshine in 3 damn days.
Finally starting to get some conversation building in our Facebook chat. Jennifer Brinson has tuned in. As we mentioned, Robert Howell is watching. Dalton Nelson, the first driver that retired from this event and will be credited with the 25th place finish tonight. He has joined us on the Facebook live feed watching in. Joey Morales is here watching. Great to see a nice healthy crowd here on the Facebook stream. Wes, how's YouTube looking right now?
YouTube's pretty dry, man. It's like the desert. But you know what? We got some viewers over there, but nobody wants to talk on YouTube. Come on, YouTubers. Come on, give us a shout. We got Rob Booze saying, let's be patient, Jefferson. Hey, Rocket Man. We got Philip Ellis giving us a wave earlier tonight as well. We got 23 viewers on there. Feel free to check us out on YouTube as well. YouTube actually has a little bit of higher quality, so if you're a fan of a driver here, you can see them in a little bit of higher quality, no matter if they're doing really bad or if they're up the lead, like Mr. Cody Brinson here, as our pace truck heads down pit road, and we are back green flag at Martinsville Speedway.
41 laps go in the books here on this restart. Cody Brinson and Jimmy Frazier will get off to a clean restart. Phil Ellis will try to file underneath of Justin Collison for position number 3. He does that. That opens the door for Dodge Carlbert. Carlbert going to try to fit his way inside. Is he able to do so? Looks like he will. He's up to the door panel of the number 12 car. Worth mentioning that under that caution flag, Wes, our championship contender Brian Blum went pit side. He is currently 23rd.
Oh, we got there goes 91 Sontag!
Right into the sand barrels.
And the green stays out. The Heartbreak Kid just got broken into like 11 pieces as Sontag hits the sand barrels on the exit of turn 2. The one of Purcell made contact with the 91. And he said, come sail away with me, as he hit the sandbar coming out of turn 2. Tyler Sontag could not catch a break if it came in the form of a Kit Kat.
Unfortunate for the Heartbreak Kid. Now you can really see why we call him that here at Vidane TV. It's still looking the way that it was up at the front of the field. Cody Brinson leading Frazier, Ellis, Collison, and Carlbert. Chase Jefferson is in 6th. How about this? TJ White is up to the top 10 for the first time. He's in position number 7. Devin McLeod with the pit stop to Brian Blum. He has taken over the championship lead once again. He is 8th. Dave Daniel is 9th. And Jonathan Thompson, your pole sitter, rounds out the top 10. The front half of the field, single file, logging laps, getting things back to where they were during that last green flag run. Also worth mentioning that Eric Purcell now has actually just gotten his way around the 03 car and is now trying to fight around the 46 of Dave Daniel. He used his reset early after a wild flip in turn number 1, making that number 1 car work, coming back through the field up to position 10, trying to get back to 9th.
Eric Purcell and that cool number 1 machine, that little bit of a throwback paint scheme for that driver. Really cool car to see out here on the track. He's been featured quite a bit this race for good and bad reasons. The only battle we really got right now is Chase Jefferson takes over the 5th position from Dodge Carlbert as they head down into turn 1. Dodge falls back 1. Now we see Devin McLeod, though, in that 21. He went into this race again with a 1-point lead on Brian Blum in that 31, who pitted that last caution.
Yeah, so far so good here. Things for Devin and McLeod. He's been looking very good. Both of our championship contenders have looked good so far. At the moment, Brian Blum has worked his way up to position number 16. He was back to 23rd at the start of this restart. So he is methodically working his way back through the field at the moment. He's got let's see, that is the 21 car of Curtis Yancey right in front of him for position number 15. Colt Cecil is behind him, not really challenging too hard. Still a lot of racing left to go. We are on lap number 50, so once we hit the line, we'll have 75 left to go. So no worries coming out of that 31 cam just yet.
The leader, Cody Brinson, he's had his mirror completely full with the 9 of Jimmy Frazier pretty much all race here, Kyle, and that has not changed as we're on lap 51. Since Cody took the lead, Jimmy Frazier followed him in tow, and they've just basically glued to each other.
Yeah, lots of patience have been shown by our top 2. They're kind of just logging laps, letting things file through. These 2 drivers have been some of our top contenders in the New Smyrna Speedway World Series of Esports on Wednesday nights. This past Wednesday, actually, Cody Brinson led the opening half of our race there in the super late model. So not all that surprising to see Cody finding more success here tonight. Of course, it's a different car, but it's still a short track race. And he's looking very strong, putting on a good show for all of us here. Jimmy Frazier, you can see he's all up on that back bumper of the 6 car, pressuring him a little bit, but he's not really getting too aggressive, not shoving him into the turns, not really trying to pull out a line, which could potentially cause a bit of a checkup with the guys behind him, depending on what those guys' strategy is. could start some battling here within the next couple laps. As we got the top 5 right now, all in a little group together.
It's been a fun 54 laps here so far. Out of a 125, we've had battles all over the track, nothing but non-stop action here. But the down south straight stocks as our top 3 again is nose to tail. Again though, Justin Collison, his first trip here with these guys during this finale. He's trying to creep his way into relevance with Chase Jefferson in the 5th position in the 48 machine. Beautiful Camaro there. That's all 5 of those guys are. Kyle, it just looks like they're content where they are now. They understand, there's still a long way to go. We're not even halfway yet. Let's get these laps in. Let's get these tires warmed up. Let's get some rubber laid down before we really start beating and banging.
Yeah, patience sure is a virtue here, especially with the caution laps not counting. The only thing that the caution will really do is just extend the amount of time that these guys are out on the racetrack. So this clean green run will allow these guys to make some progress in the race. We're starting to close in on the halfway mark, but we're not quite there yet. And look what's happening behind the 48 car, Chase Jefferson. You're starting to see the 21 of Devin McLeod reel in this group. It'll be fun to watch and see if Devin decides to run the patient route that these guys up front are, or if he starts to pick off positions and try to put more of a gap in between himself and the 31 of Blum.
Are you having fun, Kyle? Are you having fun watching this action?
Oh, it's great. Martinsville is always a fun racetrack. We're getting some green flag laps in, as just mentioned, closing in on the halfway point. This is where things will get really exciting. Of course, the battle for the win will pick up, but the battle for the championship as well. That's where we'll really start to focus in and see how things are working out there. We just mentioned that Devin McLeod is in position number 6, and at last check, Brian Blum has now worked his way up to position 14. So Blum continues to charge through, but it is still Devin McLeod with the championship lead. Chase Jefferson just got big time sideways in front of McLeod, but he was able to stay off of him, and no harm done right there.
While we have a second, I would like to say thank you to Shed the Life Shed Movers. That is Shed Life Shed Movers here in Florida. They are your #1 source of shed moving here in Florida, as the one of Purcell is a battering ram coming through 3 and 4. How the caution has not flown yet, I do not understand. All the track is blocked, and the caution now the caution comes out. So we'll get back to Shed Life Shed Movers here in a moment. The caution has flown one more time here at Martinsville Speedway. Eric Purcell in the 1 car, again finding himself in trouble. This time making contact with the wall all on his own. Not exactly sure what happened there. Drove back into the track, wrecked the 84, and then calamity. That was weird. That's very non-Eric Purcell-like.
Yeah, that has all the look of some type of equipment failure on his end, whether it's the computer, the steering wheel, something like that. We'll send things back over to Paul here, give you guys a better look at that. Paul, that's what it looked like to me. What did it look like?
Yeah, something absolutely broke on either his car, his steering wheel. Maybe his steering wheel came unplugged, because it's weird, because he got to the corner and he did it. Well, you know what? Let's jump in the cockpit. That'll show us exactly what went down. So as you can see here, his wheel still has input. I don't know what that was. Just kind of drove straight into the wall and unfortunately collect a whole bunch of cars. Looks like it may very well have been a connection issue here as well, because you can see the first car that gets into him is the 1, or the 84 rather, and just everybody seems to pile in after that as he blocks up the racing groove, and guys just trying to make their way through. So that was yeah, definitely really weird in the 1 car. Not quite sure what the deal was there.
Lots of drivers making their way onto pit road under this caution flag. Race leader Cody Brinson has stopped. Championship points leader Devin McLeod has stopped. Jimmy Frazier, Justin Collison, Curtis Yancey, Dave Daniel, Dodge Carlber, all making pit stops under this caution flag.
I just got done talking to the race director and saying his wheel may have actually came undone, like just a wheel problem. Either came off the mount that he has it on, it came unplugged. Something happened there. Where he just wasn't able to turn into the corner. So it was a malfunction of some sort of hardware.
Man, that sure is a shame for Eric Purcell. He had made such a nice recovery after having issues early on in this race. He does not have a fast repair to rely on, so any damage done to that number 1 Stimulus Racing Chevrolet Camaro will have to be done with the work of the crew. So that is very unfortunate for Eric. He was probably going to suffer a poor finish because of that, as that was a pretty big shot. So lots of damage done to his machine. So after all those pit stops have cycled through, we now have Blake Warren at the front of the field in the number 60 car, your second place competitor and new championship points leader is Brian Blum in the 31. Corey Bigley is in third. Bart Fahrubel is fourth, and DJ Mooring, who was just involved in the previous caution, is now back up to position number 5.
All right, and you're going to see that point battle kind of fluctuate throughout this race. It's going to kind of jump back and forth. That's what we're seeing. So, I've been able to reach out to Eric Purcell. He said his steering wheel just broke, I think, is what he said. So definitely a wheel issue. Man, tough break. He's had a rough night. Looked like he was doing a great job of trying to bounce back, but he blew his motor in the pits when he hit the rev limiter wide open. When that happened, trying to quickly get his wheel back in action. So Eric Purcell on that one machine is done for the night.
Yeah, blown motor, that'll absolutely knock you out for sure. So here we go. Pace truck is on pit road. Blake Warren hits the loud pedal, and we are back to green flag racing. Warren jumps out to the race lead. Brian Blum will fall into position number 2. Whoa, big overdrive by the 86 of Jason Miller. He goes way too high into turn number 1. He's going to sacrifice a ton of positions. They're 4 wide down the back straightaway. Justin Collison saw that, backed out, didn't want any part of it, but they're still 3 wide going into 3.
Our points leader, Devin McLeod, is in a world of heap as well as he battles side by side with Jimmy Frazier as they battle for a top 10 position for 8th and 9th. Calamity going on in front of them. There's Cody Brinson now in the 98. He just got door slammed by TJ White in the 84 machine. A lot of action here rounding out your top 10. Trying to keep it clean. Oh, there goes TJ White. For some reason, he just jacked it up the track, kind of just let everybody go there. Not exactly sure if he had an issue or he just wanted to get out of the way, but TJ White in the 84 following further back.
So now we have Devin McLeod kind of leading this big group of race cars here. These guys just coming off pit road, so they're all racing on fresh rubber. We're just past the halfway mark. Lap number 64 gets completed. Jimmy Frazier has a quick meeting with the outside safer barrier coming off of turn number 4.
We have a new leader, Kyle. It is Brian Blum. He is the new leader, and why is that relevant? He is now your points leader for sure, heading out of 4.
Exactly what the 31 of Brian Blum wants to see. Clean racetrack in front of him. He has reached the lead for the first time, but the caution flag will fly here on lap number 66. We have trouble on the exit of turn number 4. That is the 11 car of Dodge. Carlbert is facing the wrong way on the racetrack. Looks like a self spin to me, Wes.
Yeah, he looks like he just he got it sideways there coming out of 4. He talked to me earlier this race and he said, "You know what? This is not my track. I'm not a fan of this track. Please don't hold it against me if I put up a stink show." Majority of this race, he's done a great job keeping that car clean, but a little bit of trouble coming off of 4.
AWS Roofing instant replay on your screen right now, and you can see got that that left rear tire on the rumble strip right there. It upset the car and just kind of lost the front end. A little bit of a love tap there on the inside wall, but not any kind of major damage. You see, he was able to grab a gear. 64 does a great job getting around him, but doesn't hit anything too hard, and we're just about halfway through this race, so he is going to be on the tail end of the lead lap, but still has a shot at this as he's going to be on the lead lap about halfway through.
Nothing but action so far here at Martinsville. Martinsville just breeds action no matter what car you're in, no matter what division. And this track is known for bumper-to-bumper racing, as it's the pay-per-click, as it's known, half-mile track. This is what it's all about. You can have one car spins that will bring out the caution, or half the field will block the track and it will stay green.
Yeah, we've seen some very differing situations in the first half of this Down South Street Stock season finale at Martinsville Speedway. We've been doing a good job of keeping you updated as to where your championship competitors are running. At the moment, Brian Blum, your race leader, Devin McLeod, P6. McLeod would not be your champion if it were to end right now. He entered this race with a 1-point cushion. That cushion is all but gone with the 31 car out in the race lead. So there will need to be some improvement by the 21 car in order to get that championship position back, but still quite a long way left to go once we get the green flag this next time. Not the next time by, but the next green flag that falls, we will have 59 laps to go.
So I believe with 59 laps to go, that means we're past halfway, right?
That is correct.
Only math I know is Steiner math, and Steiner math typically isn't correct, but thank you for doing the math for me. I appreciate it. Here's another margarita drink for you. And that's all I got to say about that.
Somebody's got to be the intelligent one here in the booth, and I guess that will be me.
When your IQ's the same amount as your shoe size, I wouldn't call that intelligent, son, but it's still probably the highest here in the booth.
Shots fired.
All right, so we are 1 to go. This time by Brian Blum is your new points leader and race leader with Blake Warren, who started up front for us. He's worked his way back up to the front row with Corey Bigley sitting in third. And Bart Fahrubel in the 14th, fourth. Fifth will be DJ Mooring. He's found himself a little bit of action. He hasn't found too much time up front, so here he is here. And then, don't look now, Devin McLeod sitting in sixth as we are green flag racing back here at Martinsville.
Top three cars get off to a nice start. The 09 of DJ Mooring going to try to reel underneath of the 14 of Bart Fahrubel. He's able to do so. Devin McLeod pressuring the 09, helping him get on by. 3 wide behind them, Phil Ellis, Jonathan Thompson, and Justin Collison. They sort that out. Jonathan Thompson becomes the winner there. He is now on the outside of Dave Daniel. Daniel will win that battle. Devin McLeod trying to get underneath of Bart Fahrubel now, as DJ Mooring has gotten by him. He is going to do so. He will take the spot coming off the turn. Cody Brinson going to follow suit. Caution flag flies again.
The 91 of Tyler Sontag made his way around, and there's a car on his roof in the pits, and that's Eugene Cannell. Somehow he has turtled over. It looks like he went down into the corner, and he got a little bit of help from the Heartbreak Kid, Tyler Sontag. The red, white, and blue machine goes around, gets nailed by Jimmy Frazier, and goes into the opening and just kind of turtles over. Y'all wait until you see this replay, but Tyler Sontag involved as well.
Yeah, a little bit of a tap from the 91 to the 96 up into the 86, and he gets into the 6 or the 9, depending on how that works out. And there you see the car flipping at the entrance to pit road there. Tyler Sontag didn't seem like he hit anything there. Good news there, but we'll see if we can back that up one more quick time here. Take a look at, that was the 96 car. It just kind of did a little bit of a lazy street stock flip. I wouldn't even really call it a flip. He just kind of tipped over. Well, yeah, all right. He landed on his roof. I'll give him that. Style points.
I believe, Kyle, that is the definition of turtling, when you're at a dead stop and iRacing physics make you flip over.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with you there. The perfect definition of a turtle. We can give you guys a bit of an update on some of our former competitors in this race. As we mentioned, the Eric Purcell machine is done for the night, the blown motor after his problems. Checking out the number 19 car. He is sitting on pit road. We still see him there, but he has fallen 14 laps down. Dalton Nelson done for the night. We've already mentioned that. Just saw that Jason Miller has disconnected his number 86 machine, so Jason Miller has retired from this event. So starting to lose some of our competitors. We'll see what happens here with Gene Connell. Didn't look like that was a very violent flip at all. So I wouldn't imagine too much damage being done to that number 96 car, but he still sits on pit road. We'll see if he's able to rejoin the field before the restart.
Kyle Kyle, who's your pick on what we have her right now in front of our faces? Who do you think is going to bring this puppy home?
Man, I don't know. We're seeing a lot of diversity, a lot of changing scenarios, and a handful of different drivers up front. I really think the race is wide open. The championship is wide open. Some different strategies that are going on right now. I really couldn't tell you, man. This has been a pretty competitive race thus far. I don't really see one driver having an edge over anybody else right now.
I would like to say that Brian Blum will get this done, not only because he's a leader, because I'm a fan of the guy that's usually behind the eight ball, as Brian Blum was entering this in second place in points. I think that he's in that prime spot to bring home the championship and bring home the win. But, man, Devin McLeod's not too far back in that sixth position.
No, he's not. We've definitely seen why these two drivers are your championship contenders. Should be very fun to see how this one all ends out. And I'm sure it's only going to get more and more dramatic as the end of the race closes in. Here we go. We're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing. Brian Blum gets off to that early start. The 28 of Corey Bigley saw it and is able to get underneath of Blake Warren for position number 2. Everybody is double file throughout the top 10, and now Bigley clears the 60 for second.
The battle is off of turn 2, where Brinson's able to clear the 09 DJ Mooring. Just couldn't stay off the wall there on the exit of 2, so he washes way up the track into the marbles. There's kind of a heaving way for the rest of the field, working his way around him, as we now see Dave Daniel in the 46 and the 12 of Collison battling it out here for, I believe, that is the 8th position.
Justin Collison trying to work his way back up through to the front of the field where he was at. Whoa! Big slide out of the 03 at Jonathan Thompson. He hangs on. That was very close to being something very bad. He'll lose a handful of spots, but that is better than the alternate situation there. Back inside the top front, Devin McLeod is on the move. He has made his way around Bart Fahrubel for position number 5. The 21 is back inside the top 5. He will try to make the move on Cody Brinson. That'll be a challenging pass. Cody Brinson's been very good here tonight.
He has. Cody's been strong all night long. He got back there. Kind of got shuffled back there a little bit, so now he's trying to work his way up back to the front as he slides it off of turn 4. He's able to secure that 4th position. Brian Blum, though, is your leader and new points leader. As don't look now, though, Devin McLeod has turned up the heat. Next on his radar is Brinson. 2 aggressive drivers here about to go at it here in Martinsville.
Great stuff here at the track they call the paper clip. Getting down here to the wire, we're moving into the final third of this race. Lap number 73 just went in the books. It's still Brian Blum out in front, starting to separate himself from Blake Warren. Blake Warren has a bit of a gap over Corey Bigley. Bigley, a rear view mirror full of the 98 of Cody Brinson. And then that's where we have Devin McLeod, Bart Fahrubel, and Justin Collison all kind of grouped up together here as they work their way back into turn number 1. The 98 of Brinson starting to pressure the 28 of Bigley. Nearly made some bumper contact there. And remember the 3-tap rule here, guys. Tap number 1, I'm just letting you know that I'm there. Tap number 2, it's time to move. Tap number 3, I'm moving you.
That's a 3-strike rule there, Kyle. Basically, you get a couple strikes, but the third one you're out, buddy. So here comes Corey Bigley now. He's under fire from Brinson. Not only Brinson, but Devin McLeod, as Devin McLeod works underneath that 21 machine. But yeah, Kyle, it's that 3-strike rule. After that 3rd strike, you're out, and I'm going to move you. And you'll see a lot of that here at Martinsville.
Absolutely. That's what makes Martinsville so exciting. It's the perfect track for that kind of stuff. These sharp hairpin turns, nice low speeds through the center, really gives you a good opportunity to beat and bang a little bit and move some guys around. We haven't really seen a lot of aggression outside of the cautions that we've seen tonight, so everybody's been playing fair up to this point, but you know is that as we continue to wind things down, that's going to ramp up. There's a championship on the line, there's a race win on the line. Everybody, whether you're fighting for the championship or not, everybody wants to win the last race of the season. you get to be kind of put up on a pedestal for a little bit longer than what you would normally winning another regular season race, because you're going racing the next week. That's not necessarily always the case when the season comes to an end, so everybody wants to end off strong. Some of them will end it off with a championship, but everybody looking for success to close off the season.
So
for the lead is starting to tight up here, Wes.
I figure I'll throw something out there. We're at 289 subscribers on YouTube. 289 subscribers. So I'm going to throw this out there. I'm going to spend a little bit of Paul's money. If we can get to 300 subscribers tonight, 300 subscribers, and we still got a long way to go there, we will do a free Vidane TV t-shirt giveaway. So if we can get 11 more subscribers tonight, somebody's getting a free t-shirt. And you might be thinking, oh, it's just a t-shirt. No, these are like those Izod t-shirts that you could sweat in and still feel comfy in. These are pretty cool t-shirts. So if we can get 11 more followers tonight, I think someone's going to get it hooked up.
Wes, the battle for the lead just got really, really intense there. Blake Warren was trying to get underneath of Brian Blum. The two made a little bit of contact. Blake got out of control, saved it, but loses a few car lanes to the 31 car. You can see how protective Brian is being of that race lead. He doesn't want to have to worry about falling out of the lead. Of course, he can't really control where the 21 is at, but by winning the race, it's a great way to try to win a championship.
That's the way you get it done. We saw a battle in between, if you remember, Carl Edwards and Tony Stewart, where they finished 1-2, and it was actually tied. And Tony Stewart won the race, and he won the tiebreaker as well. So you never know. You might see something like that here tonight at Martinsville if these guys battle it out.
Indeed, we could. Blake Warren continues to pressure the 31, gives him a little bumper in the center of 1 and 2, and now he is underneath the 31 for the race lead. Blake Warren, he understands that Brian's racing for a championship. He slides up into him a little bit, makes some door contact. That allows the 60 to take the lead. Cody Brinson is going to follow underneath for second, and look who's behind the 31 now. The 21 of Devin McLeod separated by 1 point. The 31 and 21 are third and fourth.
Devin McLeod using that bumper. He wants that points lead back as he's all over the bumper here of the 31 of Brian Blum. I don't even think he's worried about the lead that Blake Warren and Cody Brinson are battling side by side now, as Cody works on the inside of Warren as they battle down into 3 and 4. So we got a battle for the lead and then a battle for the championship going on right behind it here. Devin McLeod makes a little bit of contact to the bumper of the 31. He slips up coming out of 4. He's under fire now by Corey Bigley.
Yeah, he made a big mistake there, and he knew that Bigley was going to challenge, so he immediately threw the inside block to keep that 28 car behind him. He was successful in doing so, and will regather and make another charge over to the 31 car. Cody Brinson has moved his way back into the race lead. He has led the most laps thus far here tonight. He's going to continue to add more laps to his resume for the evening. Justin Collison just slammed down the brakes, was trying to make an inside move underneath the Corey Bigley, didn't have enough space to do so, so he holds off for right now. Collison currently running in position number 6, trying to get after the 28 for 5th place, as both of those two watch the battle for the championship happen in front of them with the 21 and 31.
Kyle, this is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. The battle for the lead, the battle for the championship. When you get down to the nitty-gritty, when you get down to the finale, you want to see, no matter what position it's for, you want to see the drivers that are battling for the championship to be near each other and put on a show, and that they are. Yes, up front, you got the Cody Brinson machine and that number 98 and the 60 hot rod of Blake Warren battling out for the lead, but it's all about 3rd and 4th right now. Devin McLeod doing everything he can to put the pressure on Brian Blum.
Yeah, we're starting to wind things down here, everybody. 35 laps to go in the Down South Street Stock season. Battle for position number 5 is underway. Justin Collison has made the move underneath of Corey Bigley. He has the advantage coming off of turn number 2. It's a drag race down into turn number 3. Bigley is going to sacrifice that position, fall behind the number 12 car. He sees how many cars are behind those guys. He doesn't want to lose any more positions, so he sacrifices one to save himself a few more. Chase Jefferson now just a few cars back, looks underneath the Dave Daniel.
Kyle, I think it's been a while since we've been able to call a race, and not only a race, but a finale where the points lead is so tight, and yet the drivers are so tight on the track as well.
Yeah, for sure. This has been a fantastic race all night throughout the top 5. These guys, now they're starting to mix it up a little bit more than what you saw in the first half of the race. We're starting to run out of laps. People are starting to pick up the aggression a little bit. We're starting to see some more moves, a little bit of contact. So far, so good, but it's definitely starting to turn into a short track race. Look at the front. We've got a battle for the lead once again. Blake Warren is challenging the 98 of Cody Brinson. He wants to take over the top spot once again. Brian Blum right there watching the battle, seeing if he can make a move and gain an extra spot. Devin McLeod going to do the same. McLeod thinking about maybe going to the inside. Brian Blum slams the door shut before he can break the plane of the door frame, and it stays at 31 and 21 in third and fourth. Oh, a little bit of contact there between Brinson and Warren. Brinson doesn't like it. He boots the 60 up the racetrack. He's going to turn back underneath. I told you we were going to get more aggressive, and we're seeing it right now. Door banging down the backstretch for the lead.
Classic bump and run there by Brinson, and there they go again, just trading paint, and here we go. Now, Kyle, here's the big thing. These drivers are pretty ticked off at each other, Blake Warren and Cody Brinson. If Blake Warren sends it in and he's not careful here, he could wreck the 31 or the Devin McLeod machine, who just fell victim to Justin Collison now. 21 got stuck on the outside. Collison takes advantage of that. He moves up position into fourth. We got a 5-car, 6-car, 7-car battle now for the lead.
Man, Wes, I gave these guys so much credit. It's so hard. You want to do the best that you can in every race that you run, but you want to be respectful to the championship battle. Justin Collison, we've seen him up front throughout the majority of this race. He has a great race car. He wants to battle for this race win, and he has to work his way through the championship fight. Yes, it's a short track. He's going to lean on these guys. He's going to beat and bang a little bit. But you kind of have to do that if you want to be successful here. So far, nothing foul play in my mind. Justin Collison got around the 21 of McLeod. He's now trying to work over Brian Blum. Brian Blum is definitely at the mercy of the number 12 machine. If he can't win this battle, that's going to open the door for Devin McLeod to sneak underneath and possibly follow through.
Kyle, if you're a race car driver, you don't care about that points battle. All you care about is collecting that checker flag, and that's what Collison cares about now. And he gets the bump! He gets the bump and plowed by Devin McLeod, but he saves it. Devin McLeod straightens him out where it is minimum disaster for Justin Collison in the 12. You know Collison cannot be happy, but here's the rule in this league. If you call the caution, you get an end of longest line penalty. Ladies and gentlemen, that might be huge for Devin McLeod.
A huge mistake by Devin McLeod. He makes contact with the left rear corner panel of Justin Collison. He doesn't spin Collison. Collison's able to gather it back up, but the caution flag did fly. So we'll see what race control does here. I'm pretty sure that's going to send the 21 to the back. Not exactly sure yet. We'll let Paul bring up the AWS Roofing Instant Replay, give you a better look at it. And before we do so, we'll let you know Cody Brinson's on pit road.
It really depends on what the caution got called for, because you can see a few cars back behind them. The 03 lost it, came all the way around, and you can see he was reversed back up in front of the 11 car. That might have been what caused the caution, not necessarily the wreck with the points battle up front. But I guess it's not really my call. Like it's going to be up to the admins of the league to figure out who caused that.
Wild developing story here late in the going. We have a potential penalty that could have a huge impact on this championship fight. Our race leader, Cody Brinson. And there it is, guys. Devin McLeod has been given the end-of-line penalty. Race officials have deemed that this caution is on Devin McLeod. He will drop from the top 5 to the back of the field with 26 laps to go.
I am listening to driver chat, and I will tell you what, the drivers are not happy. The driver of the 21 is not happy with what happened. But rules are rules. You know, their rule is if there's not a clear call where who is an aggressor, both drivers go to the back. So you will see the Devin McLeod machine, the number 21, going to the back, and possibly the 12 machine of Collison. So that is not only huge for the race implications, but as well as championship implications.
Yeah, I decided to listen in on the race chat too, Wes. The reason why that they're determining that on the 21, they were aware of the 03 spitting out of Jonathan Thompson, like Paul had mentioned, but race officials are saying that he was down in the grass. That is not what the caution flag was for, and they're deeming it between the 21 and the 12. The reason why Devin McLeod is going to the back is because they are not able to determine who is strictly at fault. So both cars will have to go to the back. I have not seen an end-of-line penalty given to the 12 car yet. He is significantly further ahead of the 21 in the lineup. So we are getting the 1 to green this time. I don't know if that's going to change or not, but only one end-of-line penalty was given, and that was to the 21 and Devin McLeod.
I'm just here trying to listen on. I apologize for my for me being 1 second here. I'm just kind of listening on here, just trying to listen to the drivers. Man, that is huge for not only championship implications, but I know Devin is a hard racer. He's going to want to get up there. Keep an eye on this 21 here, Paul, as he's going to try to work his way up through the field. We still got a long way to go, folks. 25 laps. Yeah, Martinsville, that doesn't seem long, but man, I expect a lot of action here to come. Hopefully he can pick up some spots and give Blum a run for his money, but to be blunt, that may have just cost him a championship.
It very well could have. 25 laps remain, and we'll see what happens. Blake Warren is out to the race lead over Corey Bigley. Brian Blum has fallen back to position number 3, but he still has a huge stranglehold onto the championship battle at the moment. Devin McLeod currently in position number 16. He has a long way to go and a short time to get there. Blake Warren continues to lead the field here. Blake Warren has been significantly strong here tonight. He's had a lot to battle with. Him and Cody Brinson kind of got into a shoving match during that last green flag run. Now he'll have Corey Bigley to hold off. Brian Blum has been strong. Phil Ellis is moving his way back to the front of the field. Trouble! Dodge Carlburn has crashed on the backstretch.
Oh. The yellow has not flown for the number 11 machine to wreck it on the backstretch. He's got it back up and going, so he's rocking and rolling. Dodge again. He admitted before this race started, man, this is not my racetrack. And he's definitely struggling here tonight. TJ Morin goes way up the track into the marbles. He's struggling, as well as Tyler Sontag not having the race he wants to have. We hope to see him do a little bit better tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern in the Truck Series, the Florida Truck Road Challenge Series. You can find here at Vidane TV on YouTube and Facebook. But back up front, Blake Ward back where he started. Corey Bigley second. Brian Blum now under fire from Phil Ellis for that third position.
Brian Blum knows he has a bit of a buffer, but he doesn't want to risk that buffer just by hanging out and dropping spots. Devin McLeod has worked his way up to position number 12. The 21 is on a charge. He's got fresh rubber under. Well, no, he didn't. He didn't come into the pits. He's just got a hot temper underneath that helmet. So he's driving his heart out. He wants to save his season and cap it off with a championship. Phil Ellis has gone around the 31 of Blum. Chase Jefferson now attacking the 31 for position number 4. A long line of race cars behind the 31 car. Brian Blum needs to figure this out. If he can't, he is going to fall into the clutches of Devin McLeod.
You know what? This is what Justin wants to see right now, to be honest with you. If that car is stuck on the outside, if Justin just could just say to these guys, it looks like the 12 car of Collison pulling off the track. Not exactly sure what's going on with Collison. I'll check in for that. But if the 31 gets hung out and continues to get hung out, the 21 McLeod will be there. I'm going to find out what's going on with the column machine.
Whoa, oh, that got really scary. Chase Jefferson got loose under braking underneath of Brian Blum. He's able to gather it up and falls back in line. That allows Brian Blum to hang on to position number 4, but that could have gotten real bad in a real hurry. Now Dylan Ritchie is stuck to the outside. He has the 84 car of TJ White going underneath of him. That is for position number 7. TJ White's got the advantage coming off of turn number 2, and you can see the freight train effect happening here. Cody Brinson is going to follow the 84. Then you got Jimmy Frazier and Devin McLeod behind the 6 that will try to follow the 26 back to this the end of this little group.
Kyle, I just got done talking to Justin Collison. He ran out of fuel, ladies and gentlemen. He ran out of fuel. Didn't even know that fuel was going to be an issue here tonight. But Justin Collison never made a single pit stop yet tonight, and he ran out of fuel.
Man, that is so unfortunate. Justin had such a great run throughout this night. We can see him rolling back on pit road. I'm not sure exactly where he is stopped on the pits. He's going to go at least 2 laps down here, so that's going to ruin any hope of him having a solid finish. Very unfortunate for the Canadian making his debut here with the Down South Street Stocks. Was definitely a threat to win this race. He was running good. Will not have the finish to show for it. Devin McLeod is on the attack once again. He is going around the 84 car of TJ White. That is going to be for position number 9. So move the 21 up to 9th place here with just 15 laps of racing to go. There are 5 cars separating Brian Blum and Devin McLeod. Now, we will remind you guys, we do not know what the point structure is. We don't know if this is NASCAR style, whether it's 1 point per car, if it's multiple points per car. We can definitely tell you for sure that no matter what point system it's under, as of right now, Brian Blum would be your champion. It will only come down to if it's like Brian Blum beating the 21 by 1 spot. That's where things get a little wishy-washy. But for right now, Brian Blum is in control of the championship, coming to 13 to go.
1 point separating the championship battle. You know, that's a lot of pressure on both guys. It's you treat it as being tied, basically. I've been in the shoes before. Bedane season 6, it was, Super Speedway Series, went into the championship tied for points. You got a lot of pressure on you. This season I went into that down by like 11 points. I didn't have much confidence in getting it. But when the points battle is this close, the smallest mistake could cost you a championship. We may have just seen that with Devin McLeod, with that action that he got into with the 12 of Collison. Here's what hurts most if you're Devin McLeod. Collison ran out of fuel. All you had to do was wait for him to run out of fuel, and he would have got that position.
Yeah, that's very true, Wes. That's a very costly mistake for Devin McLeod. Whether he was the actual cause of the crash or whether it was a racing deal or the 12's fault, it really doesn't matter at this point. We know what the judgment was made by race control. He was sent to the back for it. I will throw out there that there was no end-of-line penalty for the 12 machine. Whether there should have been or not, I can't really tell you. I can only tell you what I know for sure, and that's the 21 was the only one that was sent to the back, and the 12 stayed significantly ahead of where the 21 was at. Devin McLeod has now made his pass for position number 8, so the 21 is now in 8th. The 31 is still in 4th, so that's 1 less car in between the 2 championship contenders. We are down to 9 laps to go. Look at Cody Brinson put the bumper to the 48 to Chase Jefferson. I think Jefferson tried to block him for that spot. It didn't work. Well, it did work. Brinson's still behind him.
As we were saying, Kyle, it still worked. Even though he got the bumper, he was able to still defend that position. Cody Brinson, though, gets a bumper now for the 9 of Jimmy Frazier. Jimmy Frazier shoots him up the track. A little bit of a accordion effect there as he laid the bumper to Chase Jefferson, did the 98 of Cody Brinson. And now that battle is really heating up for the 3rd position. But up front, right now, it is Blake Warren. But more importantly, Brian Blum in 4th, currently your champion.
You can see he's starting to pressure Phil Ellis here a little bit. He's looking high, he's looking low. Now he goes back to the bottom side as they cross the start-finish line. He's not able to drive it in underneath of Phil Ellis. Remember, Brian Blum cannot make the same mistake that Devin McLeod just did. If he does the same thing to the 29 that the 21 did to the 12, he will see the same fate. He's able to get underneath the 29 cleanly. This is for position number 3. He looks like he's got the advantage coming off. He takes a bit of a defensive line because Chase Jefferson is also right behind trying to file on through. I think Blum is going to clear off a turn 2. He does. Chase Jefferson going to do the same.
Caution!
The flag has flown with 6 laps to go. Caution flag is out. Oh boy, if things weren't intense already, they just got wicked intense. Trouble for the 03 of Jonathan Thompson.
Oh, Jonathan Thompson went into the corner. He got into the back of the car in front of him just a little bit, got in the binder, spun it out, and that brought out our caution. And mainly because if you spin out here at Martinsville, even 1 car can block the track. So, Kyle, we're about to have a green-white checkered for the championship.
Well, no, we're not, Wes. We still do not count caution laps, so we're going to have 5 laps to go on this restart. But that gives Devin McLeod another opportunity to bunch up to the field. It looks like he's going to start on the outside of row number 4. Brian Blum will start to the inside of row number 2. This is going to get insane.
All right. I can't help but cheer right now for Devin McLeod after the adversity. I'm a fan of the underdog. Devin McLeod, even though coming into this as the points leader, he turned himself into the underdog by getting that end of longest line penalty or end of line penalty, did Devin McLeod. And now he's worked his way all the way back up to 8th. Now, this is what becomes frustrating if you're Devin. You can see the 31. You can see Brian Blum out of your windshield, but you also see a few cars in between you. Granted, Phil Ellis is actually heading down pit road. That's a strategy call, I would have to say. But you have Blum, then Jefferson, Brinson, Frazier, and then McLeod. So you have 3 cars in between you. That's a whole row. So it's hard to give a bump and run to somebody when you got 3 other cars between you.
Things just got a little bit easier for Devin McLeod as Phil Ellis made that pit stop. So now instead of restarting on the outside in 8th, McLeod is going to start on the inside in 7th. So he's going to have the preferred line. This restart is just going to be so crucial. And let's not forget here, guys, we have a lot of strong contenders in the top 10 of this race. Blake Warren is in the lead. He's looked good here over the last 20 to 30 laps. Corey Bigley has been in the front the majority of this race. Obviously, we know how good Brian Blum is. Phil Ellis, he just went to the pits, so I don't have to worry about him right now. Chase Jefferson picked up the win in heat race number 2 earlier tonight. He has looked good, running the top 10 all night. Cody Brinson, obviously, he's been extremely successful on this feature race. He has led the most laps. He's going to restart in position number 5. Jimmy Frazier, he hasn't led any yet. He's been close, but hasn't done so. And then, of course, we have Devin McLeod here in position number 7. Lots of strong contenders in this final 5 laps. This is going to be a very good end to the season.
We hope, Kyle. It's not over yet.
Justin Collison going to come around here for the free pass. He's 3 laps down, so this will put him back to 2 laps down. Not really going to see much benefit from that unless somebody crashes here. But here we go. Lights are out on top of the pace truck. We will be going green this time by 5 laps to determine the race winner, to determine the champion, and it looks like we're going to do so with a single file restart.
All right, Kyle, you ready for this? You ready for this show?
Oh boy, strap in, folks. This is going to get wild. Grab the popcorn, put the 5-point harness on, connect the Hans device. Gear up for this finish. Here we go.
Flag is out. We are racing here at Martinsville Speedway. It is just a couple laps here to go. We got 5 to go. I called green, white, checkered because I thought that we were counting cautions for some reason, but we don't. So we have 5 to go here. Can Devin McLeod work his way up the Blum for the championship?
Big bumper shot from the 98 of Cody Brinson into the 48 of Chase Jefferson. It did nothing. Brinson drives it in deep into the left rear corner panel of the 48. Somehow Jefferson hangs on. He's going to turn into the 98. He's not happy with that move. What does Brinson do? Brinson drives it in and pushes him up into the outside wall. 3 cars up into the outside wall. Look at Devin McLeod file underneath all of them. 1 car in between the 21 and the 31. Devin McLeod goes to P4.
Devin McLeod sees the door wide open. He takes it coming out of 4. But now, can he catch Brian Blum without a caution? He has Jimmy Frazier all over his bumper. Jimmy Frazier gives him the bumper, and there goes McLeod off the track. He loses 2 positions, does Devin McLeod. He is pissed off on the radio. Devin McLeod just watched his championship go up in smoke.
Jimmy Frazier doesn't care about the championship fight. He wants the best position he can get. Now Devin McLeod looking underneath the Dave Daniel. He's got to get really aggressive and hope for some fortune here. White flag is going to fly one more time around the Martinsville Speedway. Blake Warren trying to hang on to hang over Corey Bigley to win this race. Brian Blum sitting in 3rd in a world of his own. If he can finish this half lap, he will be the champion. Final time into 3. Bigley looks high. He doesn't get a run. Blake Warren, he's off the pace. Blake Warren pulls off the pace. Corey wins the race. Did he run out of fuel? Did Blake Warren run out of fuel coming to the checkered flag?
He just ran out of gas coming to the checkered flag. Did Blake Warren? Holy Shinitsky! Did that just happen? Unbelievable! Unbelievable! We have battles after the race, the 48 and the 98 going at each other. Corey Bigley winning it coming off of turn 4. Your champion is Brian Blum. Wow, what a race.
Wes, I got to be honest, and I really don't mean any disrespect to these guys. I was a little concerned in the first half of the race that this was going to be a wreck fest. This was going to be a snoozer, and it was going to take us so long to get through. Boy, was I wrong. What a wild finish to this race. We can confirm Blake Warren has just shared he ran out of gas coming out of turn number 4. Oh my goodness. I'm shaking right now. That was insane. Corey Bigley did not lead any other lap but the most important one. He wins the race. Your runner-up finisher, Brian Blum, he came into this race second in points. He has done it. He has won the Down South Street Stocks Championship here at Martinsville Speedway.
Brian Blum, I'll tell you what, I honestly didn't expect him to get it done. I thought Devin McLeod, and just because of my my past with Devin McLeod, I thought this was Devin's race. But Brian Blum plays the Mr. Consistency card and gets it done. What a race. And not only that, Corey Bigley winning it off of turn 4 as he watches the Warren machine run out of gas. Man, oh man. All right, we're going to take a quick break here, and we're going to catch a couple interviews at the end of this broadcast with tonight's winner as well as tonight's champion when we come back.
You want to know what makes your favorite food taste even better? Not having it for a while. You want to know what makes the holidays so great? Only having them once a year. You want to know what made your first visit to the racetrack the best? Never having that experience before. When we have too much of something, it's easy to take it for granted. This is a reminder to appreciate every track, every race, every crew member, and every win. Because there will be a time when those moments seem out of reach.
I got them. We're good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here at Vidane TV, and the first driver we're going to talk to is tonight's winner, Corey Bigley. Corey, if you ever needed Lady Luck, it was here tonight, and she came and gave you a kiss on the cheek coming out of turn 4. Walk us through that final lap. Corey Bigley, do you have a copy? All right, Corey may not be with us here yet. We're going to see if Mr. Blum has a copy. Mr. Blum, do you got a copy here? Oh, we think I got you there for a second. Are you here with us?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Man, what a race. What a storyline for us to follow throughout this race. What a battle of a roller coaster of a race tonight. Tonight, though, you went in 1 point away from the lead, and you leave the Down South Street Stock Champion. Walk us through your journey tonight.
It was pretty hectic. I knew Devin had a good piece, and it was going to be a real tight, points battle between him and I. So I just tried to get up there early and just try to lead a lap, get an extra point. Once I did that, it was really just all about saving my stuff and battling as hard as I could up there.
There's a couple times where we saw Devin go to the back. We saw you go to the back. You work your way through. It just seemed like just a back and forth battle. What was going through your mind when that incident happened with Collison and McLeod, and you heard that McLeod was going to the back?
Well, I've been racing with Devin all season. I knew it wasn't over. I knew I'd have to keep fighting. He's a heck of a driver, and sure enough, he definitely drove back up there. So it was just all about trying not to make any mistakes, and just hit all my marks and be as smooth as I could and stay out of trouble.
And that's what you did. You were Mr. Consistency tonight. You guys at one point were nose to tail for third and fourth. We loved being able to call that, seeing you drivers just battle just throughout that race. And that was a story on its own. Now, give us a little bit of background on you, real life racing, sim life racing. Tell us about Mr.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been racing late models for quite a few years. My actual last race was back in 2014. Did some super late model racing. So I've just been working for a lot of different teams and test driving, just shaking down cars. So I just started up the sim racing this year, and sticking to it and hoping to get back into a real race car here soon and show everyone what I got.
Man, you did one hell of a job here tonight to bring it home. Give us a little bit of insight on yourself when you went into this race 1 point down. What was your mindset?
Honestly, be as perfect as I can. It's real tight racing with all these guys. You guys saw how close the battle was. It's been like that all season. Devin and I trading wins, and everyone else out there. It's hard to pass, and you just got to be consistent and make the right calls at the right time. It's not always easy, but trying to be your own crew chief, knowing when to pit and when to take tires, and just hope luck is a little bit on your side for the night.
We know you got to have some people watching here tonight. I know you got some people you want to say hello and maybe even thank. You put on again one hell of a show tonight. Give some shout outs if you can.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to thank my girlfriend Renee and Down South Street Stocks for putting this season on and letting us all have a place to race each week, and look forward to doing it again.
Man, again, congratulations from us here at Bedane TV, as well as I'm sure Down South Street Stocks here. Congratulations again on your championship.
Thank you, man. Really appreciate it.
All right, so we're doing a little bit of a different interview here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to have actually Corey Bigley on the line with us. His Discord isn't working properly, so I'm actually doing a phone interview with Corey. Corey, do you got a copy with us?
Hey, it's back working.
All right, are you back on Discord with us? All right, so we're gonna bring Corey Bigley back into Discord here with us. Corey, do you got a copy here?
Okay, can you hear me now?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, I don't know. It broke or something. It was
Corey,
just shut off.
Man, you put on one hell of a race. You were kind of just Mr. Consistency, being consistent throughout the race. Coming out of turn 4, you're sitting second. You kind of take a deep breath, like, man, I couldn't get under him going into 3. I'm gonna have to settle for second. And then Warren runs out of gas. Walk us through that last lap.
Yeah, I was trying to set him up like with a couple laps to go. I wasn't gonna run him over. I can get in a 1. I think a little bit better than him, but he would beat me a little bit off of 4. I could just stay with him, but I tried to go the outside on the last lap. I didn't know he was gonna run out of gas in front of me. I was just trying to sit out there, and then it sputtered on him, and that's what happened. I passed him and got the win.
Did you, going into this race, did you think that you had a chance to win it? How was the setup feeling for you?
Not really. I've been running about. I've been having a lot of top 10s in here. I really haven't. I haven't, like, 'cause I'm learning on this stuff still, on this iRacing, but I've been learning. We had a couple practice races, and I can just because we only had a few people in there, and I couldn't just get by them, and then it helped me out. I think this race, I learned a little bit those practice races.
Practice races help so much. I know you like to join us as well with our New Smyrna League. A lot of you guys do.
Not New Smyrna, I run the Pro Trucks.
Or the Pro Truck. Yep, the Pro Truck Leagues on Monday nights, which you can catch them in action tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. New start time for qualifying. If you didn't see that, Corey, you'll be qualifying at 7 tomorrow. But Who would you
I
like to
don't
thank?
think I'm gonna be able to make it tomorrow because we have a new car and we're trying to get it done for this month. And
You know what? Real racing will always trump sim racing, no matter what. But speaking of that, tell us some of your racing, uh, kind of your wiki of your racing experience, your racing career.
I started out in 4 cylinders at DeSoto. We did, and then I start. Then we went when we went from DeSoto. Then when they closed down, we went to Punta Gorda. That's where we ran. Started in Pro and Fab. That's where I ran with Phil Ellis and all them. Then this one girl, Whitney Poole, she asked me if I can drive her truck in a rookie class, and then from there I went from rookie, and then he got me a truck later on, a couple years, I don't know, 3 or 4 years later than that, and now I'm in the pro trucks, and that's where I've been.
Man, it sounds like you're working your way up, brother. Now, who would you like to give a shout out to? Maybe some real life sponsors, some friends, family that may be watching here tonight.
I don't have sponsors, but if anybody's looking to sponsor me in my pro truck or me or my brother in a super late model, you can just get a hold. If you wanna, you can email him or you can email me. I can give you his email. It'd be biglymotorsports28 at I think AOL.com, or you can do bigly28 at AOL.com, so they can, if they want to get a hold of us for sponsors. We're still looking for sponsors. It's just usually just my family, my mom, my dad. I want to thank, but my dad, he usually is the one who pays for everything on our truck and on our super. That's the only person who pays for it, and it's Bigley Motorsports. That's what's usually it is.
So you hear it right there. You see the driver can get the job done. He's got a great personality. He knows how to get it done behind the wheel, and that is Corey Bigley. Giving out a shout out. Hey, if you want to sponsor this guy, this driver just put out his information. If anybody is interested in sponsoring him, hit him up on Facebook. You can even hit us up. If you're interested in sponsoring this driver, we'll get you in contact with
And
him.
we'll be running, my brother, I think we'll be running my pro truck next week at 417. If they would like to come up and watch, it would be in my 28 pro truck.
There you go. So he's going to be piloting his pro truck at.
Oh, my brother will. Dylan will be.
Or Dylan will be here in Florida at the 417 racetrack.
And then I'll be racing the next week, the 20, I think 20th. I will be back in it. 2 weeks from now.
So a lot of racing there going for Bigley Motorsports. So again, Corey,
yeah, and then we race the next week again at 417 with the super late model. So 3 weeks from now.
All right, Corey, congratulations again on your win tonight. And man, hopefully we can see you soon again here on the iRacing service as well.
I will. That'll be good. I will try to, if I can be able to run maybe another Monday on the trucks, I'll just let you guys know, and I'll have fun on that pro trucks. Maybe if we don't have that bad, if the truck's not tore up or not too bad, I should be able. I'll try maybe Wednesday. Right. But I like, thanks for Phil's league and all that. There is because I just joined it about mid-season, and I just have been having fun and learning with him, with all these guys.
Phil does a great job with this league, and I'm sure you will be welcome back. So, again, thank you, Corey, and we'll see you soon.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and I believe we have Phil Ellis on the line. Phil, are you here?
What's going on, boys?
All right, Phil. So we got a couple questions, but first of all, we got to say thank you for hiring us to call this race, because I'll tell you what, I'm losing my voice. Kyle's losing his voice. We absolutely flipped crap at the end there, as you have a driver running out of fuel and the points being decided on the last lap there. What we have a question of, walk us through the decisions that the admins had to make when the 12 and the 21 got together of Collison and McLeod going into the corner. We saw one car go to the back, the other car did not. Walk us through that situation.
So it's really tough on that deal. With iRacing's algorithms now, they almost choose who caused the caution. I know you guys had it in, I think it was your Wednesday night league with what's his name? Patrick Thomas's kid and Blake Klauser. They both got sent to the rear, even though they were not the caution, because they slowed down for the yellow. It kind of triggers an algorithm and automatically gives the car that iRacing deems as the cause of the caution an EOL automatically. So when it gave the 12 the EOL, there's 4 guys. There's me, Dave Daniel, John Thompson, and Dylan Ritchie. The 4 of us we had our own channel. We kind of talked it over. And I mean, if the 12 got sent, I was right behind it, and I couldn't really tell what happened. I just knew the 2 of them got together. Devin tried to straighten them out. So to me, the only fair thing to do would be to send both of them to the back.
Gotcha. Now, we didn't see the 12 going to the back, and there was a couple of questions in the chat saying, why did the 21 go to the back and not the 12? We saw the 21 get the EOL, but not the 12. So that was the question there. And I know as an admin, that had been a tough call to make with the season on the line.
And that's why the 12 didn't, because iRacing automatically had already given him one and put him to the rear.
Gotcha. Well, that definitely makes sense. And looking back there, Devin made one heck of a run to the front. Justin started 8 cars ahead of Devin by the time he got up there. So Devin made a quick push. But man, we got to say thank you for having us host this league, as well as the show you all have put on here tonight. We admitted in the beginning of the race, we were kind of skeptical, like, all right, is this going to be an all-night disaster? 125 laps, no cautions, we might be here until midnight. And then you guys put on one heck of a show and a finish that could not have been scripted. So we got to say thank you and give you an opportunity to give some shout out to some sponsors, some friends, maybe a little bit of advertising for your league here in the future.
Yeah, I appreciate everything you guys do, man. I'm part of both the New Smyrna leagues, and you guys do a fantastic job. Appreciate it. My admins, first of all, Dave, John, and Dylan. These guys have stuck with me pretty much the whole season. The first race was a little shaky. We had 58 cars show up, and that was right after all this COVID stuff came out, and it was rough, and everybody hated us after that one, and I think we got our crap together. And I mean, we had enough cars. We had to, almost send people home tonight. A couple guys backed out before, but I mean, it's it's really hard to run these deals, and you guys know as well. You guys do it. It's hard to make calls. It's hard to be able to play fair. I'm friends with most of these guys. I know most of them personally. And it's hard to have to send guys to the rear, but at the same time, I'd expect it to be me if I did the same thing. And it's racing. It happens at the real track. It happens too. We had quite a few sponsors step up this year. Tyler Sontag, Speed Racer Photos. You guys need any iRacing paints or anything, get with Tyler, man. He's kid's a badass. That's all I'll say. I love that kid to death, and appreciate everything he does for us. Early in the season, we had GMT Towing come on board and sponsor a race, and Mermaids Towing come on and sponsor one. One of our racers put up some money anonymously for one of the races, so there were quite a few races that actually had a payout. Top 3 cars in the races actually got paid for finishing. So appreciate all those guys. We're looking to put together another deal. Info will be coming out soon here. A couple of years ago, me and the Down South crew put together a deal called the Triple Crown of iRacing with Street Stocks, and we ran USA, New Smyrna, and Pensacola 100 lappers, and there was a big payout for points and winning the races. I'm going to start putting that together. So here probably after the summer, that's going to start rolling, and looking forward to getting that back out. And I hope a lot of guys are interested. Like you guys said, we thought it was going to be a pretty crappy deal there for a little while, and racing was really good. And these guys all put on a show, man.
You know me, Phil. I'm going to call it as it is. I'm not exactly a politically correct guy, but if you get to look back and watch the feed, you will hear the excitement in our voice the last few laps there, as well as just watching the battle for the points championship go back and forth. And hey, I understand it, man. You try to make everybody happy, but you still try to call it by the rule book, and that's what you did tonight. Wonderful job you guys have put on. Glad we were here to call it the finale. You got to crown Brian Blum as the champion, and Devin McLeod has to go away home second place. Sometimes that's what it is. So thank you.
I actually have the official standings. Brian Blum ended up winning 410 points. He beat Devin McLeod by 4 points at the finish. Dylan Ritchie finished third at 373. John Thompson fourth at 363. And Eric Purcell rounded out the top 5 at 308.
So it really shows that you guys have put on one hell of a show all year, all season, I should say. So Phil, thank you so much for having us, and man, we're looking forward to seeing you on Wednesday night.
Thank you guys, appreciate it. I'll try to be there this week. We'll see what happens, and once again, appreciate all you guys do. You guys do badass job, and everything I watch you guys put out is fantastic work. So keep up the good work, boys.
We appreciate that, Phil, especially Paul, who helps bring the photos here or the pictures here, and he's the head of production. So we thank you a lot, man. We'll see.
Thanks, guys.
All right, so Devin, you got a copy here, buddy? We're gonna try to get a quick word with Devin McLeod if he ends up being available. Devin, have you a copy? All right, maybe not just yet. Kyle, give me your rundown of what you thought of those last couple laps.
You guys.
Hey, Devin, you there, buddy?
Watching, but can't hear you.
Yeah, Devin, you got us? Go ahead, Kyle. Give me your rundown while Devin works out his technical issues.
Yeah, I'm still just in awe of what we saw. I honestly, I saw Jennifer Brinson mention it in our Facebook chat, and I kind of was feeling the same thing when all of that happened. The bump and run started happening, and the inside lane opens up for Devin to take 3 spots and move 1 spot behind Brian. I was calling that race and kind of reacting to it as I would a real race. Like, oh my God, the opening is there. They're beating and banging each other. And here comes your championship contender underneath, having to come back from such a huge deficit, makes the pass. He's 1 spot away from the championship. Like, oh my goodness, is he going to pull this off? And then he gets booted out of the way. And it changes again that next lap. I'm telling you guys, this is the stuff why I love Martinsville Speedway so much. I don't think I've ever seen a sim race end as wild as that one has at this racetrack. We see races in real life end like that all the time here, but never in iRacing like that.
All right.
This Kyle, racetrack is phenomenal, and we saw a phenomenal ending.
I believe I have Devin here with us. Devin, are you there?
Yeah, man, I got a copy.
All right, man. So you went into this 1 point ahead, which is virtually a tie, is how you have to think of it as a points leader. And you kind of got put on behind the 8 ball there. You had to work your way from the back to the front quite a few times. You had a great battle for 3rd place with Brian there for the longest time. 12 came in to mix it up, battled it out with you, and then calamity happened. You had to go to the back. Walk us through your journey.
Yeah, these things are just, all about momentum. And, when you're nose to tail and you lose a little bit of momentum and the guy behind you doesn't lose it, then, he's going to get by you. So it's just, it's tough. Brian and I we raced clean all year or the whole season. It was fun. Like, we'd show the nose, but we would know that, we'd race each other clean and not dump each other. And, the 12 got by me and started dive bombing him. And the second I dove bombed the 12, he chopped me and spun him, but I tried to save him and kind of got the short end of the stick, sent it to the back, and then chaos from there.
We made sure to make both of you a point of interest throughout the broadcast, because that was the show. And there's a point where the leaders were almost, I believe it was Warren and Brinson were side by side for the lead at one point. But the center of attention was on you guys for 3rd and 4th, watching you guys cleanly race each other. Now, we're going to talk about the elephant in the room here, Devin. The penalty of the end of line that you received after the incident with Collison. Walk us through your side of the events there.
Yeah, no, I like Phil and all them guys and what they do, but I made it. He knew what I thought of it. I thought it was horse shit, but it is what it is. This is a damn video game, but I'm a competitor, and hell, I gotta buy a new refrigerator tomorrow. My damn points when is going to go towards that. So now I gotta go bump some money off somebody else.
And that's the thing. We're all competitors where, yes, this is on a computer. It's a simulator. It may not be the real thing. But at the same time,
it still pisses you off when you work your ass off to get back up there, and then Jimmy screws you because I guess that's just what Jimmy does. But that's besides the.
No matter what we do, if you're a competitor, you're competitive and you compete and you want to be number one, no matter what. So, man, it was fun watching you here tonight. We of course hope to see you again on Monday and Wednesday nights racing with us, whichever night you would like to show up. Now, give us some shout outs on some maybe some real life sponsors, some lows, some highs of some viewers that may be watching.
Yeah, for sure. I got kind of the guys that stick with me: the Tim Brink Underground, Marlon Dunn, Sticks Billiards, Dr. Vitamin Store, some good people that help me out on the real side. And then also, man, you got to check out Sunshine State Racing. They cover all of Florida racing. And then a new local racing podcast called Bench Racing with Brian Danforth and Troy Care. Pretty cool, unfiltered, just sit there for an hour and BSing with some buddies. And I got to be on that show last week. So, a lot of us guys race in real life around here. You can definitely follow us. And usually we're always good for a show, whether it's online or in person.
You always put on a show. I'll never forget the street stock race that we got the call with you. I believe it was like week 1 or something like that of the New Smyrna Speedway series that we have. And you got completely sideways in 3 and 4 and you saved it. And we marked out for that. And we marked out again tonight for your highs and your lows. You put on a hell of a show. I would like to say congrats on second, but nobody wants a congratulations for second. So I'm not going to waste your time on saying congratulations on second. I'm going to say congratulations on putting on one hell of a show. And I can't wait to call your next race.
Appreciate it, guys. You have a good night. Thanks for what you do.
Thank you, buddy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Devin McLeod. All right, Kyle, we get to take a breath, and now we got a doubleheader tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's probably going to take until tomorrow night to kind of calm down and relax and really soak up what we witnessed here tonight. I love the interview with Devin McLeod. I love the platform that we have here at Verdane Racing TV. I don't know why I just said racing, whatever. Verdane TV. I love the platform that we have here at Verdane TV. Devin showing his true emotions, not letting anything hold back, but still putting himself out there in a professional, calm manner, and gracious enough to give us his thoughts. Of course, lots of things happened at the end of that race that did not go his way, and he was still at least able to give us his feelings, and we were able to talk to him. So much appreciation to Devin for that. So glad that we got to call this race tonight. It was a lot of fun. Very much enjoyed it. And Paul, you were here through it all. I'll let you weigh in and let us know what's coming up for the week ahead.
Yeah, similar mindset with you guys. It was a rough start, and I even said it in the production headset. It might be a long night, but these guys put on one heck of a show. One of the best finishes we've seen here on Verdane TV. A couple of really good finishes this weekend, hasn't there been, Kyle? A couple of dirt races last night with Tim's Corner Motorsports and a super late model, the Triple Threat. So that was pretty cool. I'm going to take a look at the upcoming events here on Verdane TV. As there is no rest for the wicked. As you can see, tomorrow night we do have the doubleheader that Wes alluded to moments ago, and then Tuesday night we're actually going to be running Tim's Corner Motorsports. Speaking of the devil, we're going to be running the Pro Stock Tour Invitational there. That's going to be tomorrow night, Tuesday night. Check that, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wednesday night, we're going to be going to the New Smyrna World East Series of Racing, and we're going to be on the last rotation of that series. So, getting close to championship night there as well, and we're going to be handing out some championship trophies here on Verdane TV. But that's going to pretty much do it here. It's getting late. It's just about time to head on out to the shoot job, which kind of sucks because I really do enjoy doing all this, as does everybody else here from Verdane TV. So from Rowdy Wesley Hogue, from Kyle Send It In There, Deep Young, and myself, Showtime Paul Strickland Jr., we're Verdane TV. Thank you so much for spending your evening here with us. Be sure to stay well, be well, stay educated, and stay safe. And we will catch you on the flip side next time we do it live.